And welcome to the Incora County Ground in Derby for this Charlotte Edwards Cup match between Lightning and the Southern Vipers. Final round of games in the group stages of this competition, so it promises to be an exciting afternoon, maybe not just here, but also all around the country. As come this evening, 3 teams will emerge and will play finals day next week down south at the Ageas Bowl. I'll give you the most important news first. Lightning have won the toss and the Southern Vipers will bowl first. So that is the situation. We get underway in 7 minutes' time. My name is Kevin James, and next to me is former Hampshire women's player Gemma Green. Gemma, a lot at stake, certainly for the Vipers, but there's a bit on it for the Lightning as well.
Yeah, the Lightning aren't going to want to exit this tournament not having won a game at all. There's obviously nothing for them to play for in terms of progression in the competition, but it would be nice for them to finish on a win, as they will be heading back into the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, so they can take a bit of momentum into that if they pick up a win today. Out of the 8 teams in this competition, only at the start of the day today, only Lightning and Sunrisers are out of contention for qualification. The other 6 have all got something to play for, so it's quite an exciting finish this afternoon.
Yeah, and we'll keep you up to date with everything around the ground. Gemma is on it as regards the other grounds. She'll be on it here as well, of course, but she's our eyes and ears as regards changes to the table and who looks like qualifying and who doesn't as the afternoon goes on. Now, I've mentioned the toss. Lightning won the toss and have given Vipers the first use of this wicket here at the Incora County Ground. Let me give you the team news. Well, let's go with Lightning first, because, of course, they are the home side. They are actually unchanged from the side that lost to Central Sparks by 4 wickets at New Road, Worcester, at the weekend. So they are Sonia Odedra. This will probably be batting order. This is the order they batted in on last Saturday. Sonia Odedra, Beth Harmer, Abby Freeborn, Lucy Hyam, Teresa Graves, Sachi Pai, Ella Claridge, the academy player who made a debut last Saturday, keeps her place. Kirsty Gordon, Sophie Munro, Grace Ballinger and Yvonne Graves. Do you want to give us the Vipers side, Gemma?
There's just one change from the side that played at the Ageas Bowl on Saturday. So today we've got Georgia Adams, captain, Tara Norris, Georgia Elwis, Paige Schofield, Emily Windsor, keeper Carla Rudd, Ella Chandler, Alice Monaghan, Sophie Mitchell-Moore, Lauren Bell comes back into the team, and then Charlotte Taylor.
Yeah, Kiara Green, the young off-spinner who made her debut, one of 3 debuts at the weekend for the Vipers, loses her place. And it has to be said, Gemma, that both these sides have been shorn of their top players for various reasons. The Lightning, well, we know Tammy Beaumont in the England side, but they're also missing a couple of others.
Yeah, they're missing the Bryce sisters, who are both on national duty playing for Scotland down in La Manga in Spain, in the World Cup qualifiers. So they're without both of those today. So that's their keeper and their bowler, one of their bowlers. And as I say, Tammy Beaumont hasn't really featured in this competition. And the Vipers, obviously, Charlie Dean and Maya Boucher got the England call-up in the week, which is fantastic for them. And we've also been without Danny Wyatt for the last couple of games as well.
Yeah, so without top players, both these sides, but lots at stake, as we mentioned earlier. For the Vipers, probably need to win, in fact, in all probability, need to win, and they will be through to finals day at the Ageas next weekend. Lose, and they are relying on a very complicated set of results, which probably won't happen for them to get through. So the Lightning can inflict some damage here on the Vipers, and also in this final game of this group stage, gain their first win. So we're just about to get underway. Lauren Bell back in the side, the England Academy seamer, and she is going to be bowling at our commentary end. That's the racecourse end. The far end here at Derby is the city end. And certainly the last time I was here was back in 2017 for a T20 quarter-final game between Hampshire and Derbyshire, when Shahid Afridi killed the game within the first power play, scored 100 of 40 balls, and the game was all over before it really started. So that's my last visit here, and it's going to be Lauren Bell to bowl to Sonia Odedra, and we're in line, wicket to wicket. Great. Oh, there's a bit of in swing there for Lauren Bell. It's what she does, and Odedra plays that quietly on the onside.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in the 100 as well, with Bell and Shrubsole opening for the Brave. There was a lot of in swing in the early overs in the power play.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the Vipers weren't at their best early on bowling at the weekend when they were beaten by the South East Stars by 20 runs. Their early bowling was not good. Lauren Bell coming back in, hopefully will strengthen that. Runs in again and bowls down the leg side, tries to swing that on away, does Odedra, misses, and that's a wide, quite predictably. So that's another problem that Lauren Bell has a little bit. She gets that in swing, but she is prone to bowling a few down the leg side as well.
Yep, she gets that line a little bit wrong, and her natural in swing does take that down leg side quite a few times this season. She has had more control back end of the season than she did to start with.
Yeah. Bell comes in again and bowls to the right-hander Odedra. That's a better line. She's playing a missing outside off stump. Just having a little fish at that one. Good length ball from Lauren Bell. Vipers in there. What colour of top is that? That's sort of an orange, luminous orange?
Well, they tell me it's orange. I think it's more of a blood red. I like the old orange, the fluorescent orange.
Yeah.
The brighter the better for me. I'm a big fan of the Loughborough kit, the purple and pink. But it looks more of a sort of blood red to me rather than an orange.
Bottom half of the shirts are going towards a black, and the trousers are black, most definitely. That swings in as well. Odedra plays that off middle and off and plays that out square on the leg side. First runs off the bat. Odedra off the mark, and Beth Harmer will face the next ball from the tall right arm seamer, Lauren Bell. Yeah, nice colour coordinated, the Lightning, aren't they? Lovely mauve outfits, both shirts and trousers. There's sort of a dark pink helmets and a slightly lighter pink pads.
Yeah, I think it's. I think purple's an underused colour in sports kit. It's nice.
It is, yeah. Lauren Bell's just moving the third man fielder a little bit to her left, and Bell's in again. Bowls two. On this time, that's wide down the leg side. That is definitely a wide, and even keeper Carla Rudd can't pick that up cleanly. It's running down towards fine leg. They'll run two, and that'll be more wides. This is something actually. Lauren Bell, you were at the Ageas Bowl, weren't you, early on in the season when these two played a 50-over game? Lauren Bell had some horrendous problems, didn't she, bowling down the leg side?
Yeah, she did. It was a big issue for her early on in the season, and I did wonder if it was going to be something that sort of affected her throughout the season. But as I say, especially during the 100, she did gain a little bit more control.
Bowls to Harmer again. That's a better ball inside edge there. Harmer wasn't quite sure where that had gone. It had gone out backward, a square leg, called through for a single by Odedra. That's a much better ball there from Lauren Bell.
That's a great ball. It really is swinging. We've got a perfect angle here. We're right behind Lauren Bell's arm.
Give out a few LBs here, can't we?
Absolutely.
Our fingers will be straight up if it's plumb. In fact, you'll know before the umpire does, probably. Of course, if we get it right, we may get it wrong. Odedra's on strike. She has one. Bell bowls, and that's down the side. There'll be another wide. Oh dear, she's struggling here a little bit. Again. 6 without loss here, Lightning. All losses so far for the Lightning. Mentioned the Central Sparks game last Saturday. Previous to that, a few days before, they lost to the Stars by 28 runs. That was in Guildford. They lost to the Sparks in the first matchup between themselves and the Birmingham-based side as Bell comes in. That's better. Oh, my word, as it bowled very nearly. My word, that nearly got between bat and pad. How did that not go through and hit the stump? Somehow the ball has landed in front of Odedra. That looked as though it got through the gate.
It did. I don't know what kept that out, whether it was her thigh pad or top of the bat, but yeah.
Amazing. So, yes, they lost to Central Sparks by 6 wickets. That match was at Leicester. The first game between these two down at Arundel resulted in a win for the Vipers by 46 runs. Here's Bell bowls. That's a better line as well. And that's played towards mid-wicket. Now, Paige Schofield runs, throws at the bowler's end, but Odedra is home. That looked a risky signal initially. Perhaps Paige Schofield had a little bit more to do than we thought. End of the first over, a bit of a mixture from Lauren Bell. Lightning having won the toss, 7 without loss. And the previous game, well, the first game in this competition for Lightning, they lost against the South East Stars by 6 wickets, and that match was at Trent Bridge. Bet they enjoyed playing there.
Yeah, I was with you with the return fixture of this at Arundel.
Yep.
I remember Lightning's batting looked a little bit unsettled that day, and obviously today they're without Sarah Bryce, who's one of their run scorers. So it'd be interesting to see how their batting's developed since, because that was a good couple of months ago now, before obviously the 100 campaign. It looks like we've got Tara Norris is going to open the bowling at the far end, which is the city end here at Derby. So no Charlotte Taylor opening the bowling today. We've gone with two seamers. We've got the left arm seamer of Tara Norris. She's going to be coming over the wicket to Odedra. And Norris comes in past umpire Sue Redfern, bowls, and that's a full ball. Odedra's just pushed into the offside for a dot ball.
Didn't play in the 100. Odedra, in fact, nor did Beth Harmer. Neither of these two had a 100 contract. It's quite unusual.
Odedra did.
Oh, did she?
She was with
did
the
she?
Brave.
Oh, did she?
I'm not sure she got a game.
I don't think she played. Yeah.
But she was in. She was in the Brave squad.
Oh, okay. I obviously overlooked that one.
In comes Norris again. That's a slightly shorter ball, and Odedra has just helped that on its way down leg side for 4. Gone to fine leg. That's the first boundary of the innings, and that takes the score up to 12.
Yeah, a little bit ragged with the bowling already. The Southern Vipers, that was their problem against the South East Stars at the weekend, and Norris had her problems. She 3 overs, 1 for 37 in that game, and already a little bit wayward. Lauren Bell didn't play in that game. A few COVID problems in the Vipers camp at the weekend.
Norris coming in again, and that's a good length ball once again, sliding down the leg side. She just helped it on this way, but Charlotte Taylor is there at short, fine leg, who just keeps that down to a single. In fact, it's a leg by. That's probably why it didn't go all the way. It just came off the pads, took the pace off it. I was at the game at Hove last week when Vipers had their full-strength bowling attack, which obviously included Charlie Dean back then, and we got a very healthy total, 160. Thought our bowling attack would defend that with no problem at all, and Marie Kelly of the South East Stars just took everyone apart, really. In comes Norris. That's a good length ball. That's a play and a miss. She's down the wicket, but the keeper's back, and that goes straight through to Carla Rudd.
Nice delivery. That may just have straightened a fraction as well. Umpire's having a look at Norris's follow-through there, so you're going to have to watch that a little bit. And that swung back in a fraction, but just bounced.
Yeah.
Good delivery. But the umpire is definitely having a look. That umpire was, what, Sue Redfern at that far end?
Yep, that's Sue Redfern. She's done a lot of umpiring this summer in the 100, and she's also done some England International and some Women World Cup games as well. So in comes Norris over the wicket. That's a full ball. Again, another play and miss. Just goes through to Carla Rudd. Another dot ball.
Better line there from Norris.
Yeah.
Just offering the ball just outside off stump, and we saw the ball before swing a little bit. That's held its line. It's a much better line. When she bowls it too straight, as we saw earlier in the over, it's too easy to flick that away on the leg side, isn't it? Put Charlotte Taylor under pressure on the 45 there. Very overcast day here in Derby. I think it was overcast most of the way up, wasn't it? We were travelling up from Southampton.
In comes Norris. Slightly back of the length, and Harmer has taken that on with a pull shot, backward of square leg, and dive of Alice Monaghan cannot save that. That's 4 runs of backward square leg to finish the over. The score moves on to 17 with no loss off 2.
So not a bad start here for Lightning. They'll be happy with that. 12, well, more than 12 balls delivered. Lauren Bell having a few problems with her wides. Just a reminder, Lightning won the toss and have decided to bat first. I'm Kevin James. Next to me, former Hampshire ladies player, or women's player, Gemma Green, bringing you live commentary of this game from the Incora Ground here in Derby. We'll keep you up to date with the other games, because there was a game that started early today, Gemma, wasn't there? Gemma will give you some details after this start of this third over from Lauren Bell. She's bowling to Sonia Odedra. Has come back, and Odedra gets an inside edge onto the pad. Looks dangerous when she bowls the right line here, Lauren Bell.
Yeah, South East Stars playing Central Sparks. That's the other game in this group. That started at 12 o'clock today, and South East Stars posted 165. And Central Sparks are currently 109 for 4 off 15. They had a really good start again from Eve Jones and Marie Kelly, who caused Vipers the trouble during the week. But Stars have pulled that back a little bit now.
We'll give you the situation actually in the Group A table. That swings, but over. Lovely shot over the top. What a beautiful shot. One bounce for 4, Sonia Odedra. The ball swung in, but she just swung through the line. Yeah,
it's a great shot. Fields up, obviously, straight down the wicket, and she took that on and hit that really cleanly.
That was a sweet, sweet shot. The situation in the group going into this round of games, the South East Stars lead it with 17 points. Vipers with 15, Sparks with 12, Lightning yet to get off the mark. But you get 4 points for a win and a bonus point if your run rate is, was it 1.25 more than the side that you've just beaten. Here's Bell, bowls to Odedra, swings in again. Odedra just pushes that out towards mid-wicket. She's into double figures now, Sonia Odedra. She has 10, 21 without loss.
Yeah, the Vipers come into this game with a sort of easy plan, really. If they win, they're through. If they lose, they've got to find out what else happens. So if they win, they're through. But if Sparks do manage to chase down the South East Stars run, they'll give Vipers the opportunity.
Bell bowls. Odedra goes for the swing and miss through to keeper Carla Rudd.
They will give Vipers the opportunity to actually finish the group top. If they will win today, which means they would go straight through to the final and not have to play the eliminator the morning of that day. But Vipers won't be worrying about that at the minute. They just need to win this game to ensure that they feature next Sunday at the GS Bowl.
Certainly do. So the team with the most number of points from either group, as Gemma says, goes through to the actual final on finals day. And then it's as we'll come to that as Bell bowls, that swings in as well. Nicely played by Odedra, just waited for the ball to come on the bat, just pushed it out and the covers fielded by Emily Windsor. So, and then the side that finishes top in the other group will go through, and then the side that the best placed second place side plays the other group winners in the eliminator.
That's right. So one team's going to finish their group top here and not go straight through to the final.
Yeah, that's right. Western Storm lead Group B, just for your information. That's swung away, it's hit the pad, that's close, so she got outside the line. Umpire Grace Banbury thinks so. I think I might have got DRS out on that one. I think that's close either way. End of the over, 3 overs gone, Lightning 21 without loss. What was your verdict there? Because we are in a great line.
Yeah, but I think impact outside might have been the only thing to save her.
Don't forget, we're on the live picture feed as well, which you can go to the Derbyshire Cricket website. You'll see the replay if you're watching the live action. I think she is probably just outside off stump when you look at the replay. I'm sure you agree. If you don't, at Silent Sport, if you want to tweet us, silentcricket@gmail.com. I'm sorry, that's probably not your usual emails or tweets, but that's the ones that I have.
We've got Tara Norris continuing from the city end, and Harmer is on strike. The 2 fielders out here are deep mid wicket and third man as Norris comes in. That's going to be out. That's caught. That was a slightly back of the length delivery that Harmer took on. Had a big swing, and one of those fielders that I mentioned earlier on the boundary was the mid wicket, or just in front of square leg, should I say. It was Alice Monaghan, who has no trouble in taking that catch just a couple of yards inside the boundary. So Beth Harmer has gone for 5. Vipers have their first breakthrough. The score is 21 for 1 in this 4th over.
I think she's a bit unlucky there, Beth Harmer, isn't she? I know ideally you say you should keep it down, or if you're going to hit in the air, hit it big. But I think that's a good catch.
That is a good catch. It did go straight to her. She's one of the stronger fielders, Alice Monaghan, which is why she's out there, no doubt. But yeah, either side of her, she had the freedom to hit that sort of pretty much anywhere on the leg side, and that would have gone for 4. But she didn't get her angles quite right on that occasion.
So Harmer goes for 5. And the players are emerging from the pavilion to our left. We're looking back towards the city end here in the Incora County Ground here at Derby. I guess what was the old pavilion is about 10 o'clock to our left.
You gave me a good tour of the local area early, didn't you? As we got stuck in a few car parks.
Well, we got up here quite early, didn't we? I said to Gemma, let's leave early this morning from the south coast because it's bank holiday and you just never know what the traffic's like. Well, it was probably like 4 o'clock in the morning driving up, wasn't it? So we had to sort of go off to that Pride Park sort of industrial area and sit in a well-known coffee shop floor area, and sat there for about, what, 40 minutes or so, and using up a bit of time. And then we got the wrong turning. Well, I can't believe I've played here and I've been here a few times and I still got the wrong turning off the roundabout. So we got, yeah, we did. Abby Freeborn is the new batter for the Lightning. The 24-year-old has been playing for the Trent Rockets in the 100 competition.
They must have crossed on that catch because Dedra's on strike as Norris comes in, and she's just pushed that back to Norris. Yeah, the boundaries are really quite big here, square of the wicket here at Derby, so there was plenty of time. That catch was taken right on the square leg boundary, so there was plenty of time for them to complete or at least cross for their run. So Dedra's on strike.
I think the scoreboard's got that wrong as well. Showing Freeborn on strike. I'm sure that will change shortly.
Norris coming in past the umpire. That's just strained down leg side. Dedra looks to turn that to the leg side. I think that might have come off the pad. Nope, there must have been a little bit of bat involved. So that's a single, just a square leg for Dedra, and that brings Abby Freeborn on strike for the first time in this game.
She's had a decent competition, hasn't she? 134 runs. Lightning's top run scorer in this competition.
Yeah, I think she got 60 on in the last game, or last game but one in the last week.
It was the game but last, yeah, South East Stars at Guildford. 61 she made in that one. Got 32 in the defeat against the Central Sparks on Saturday.
So she's facing Norris as she comes in, and that's a full toss, and that has been dispatched through the offside. That's a bit of a gift of a ball first up. It's just a low full toss, and Abby Freeborn had no problem. She didn't try and overhit that. She just timed that through the offside field, which is just a ring on the ring at the minute. There's no sweeper out there at this stage in the game. So that's 4 runs to Abby Freeborn off her first ball.
Well, I can only assume that Norris was going for the Yorker there, but if it was, maybe I'm giving her a bit of credit. I mean, that was a horrible delivery, wasn't it? But I'll tell you what, that was hit with some venom, wasn't it?
And in comes Norris. That's a better ball. It's a little bit leg side, but Abby Freeborn just pushes that onto the leg side for a dot ball. There's a bit of a grunt there from Norris. That was an effort ball. Or...
Yeah, sort of running in hard, isn't she, really? But again, the line is not consistent, is it? It's either a little bit too much outside off stump, but actually on the whole, it's a little bit too straight. You know, as a left-arm bowler, you don't really want to be bowling middle stump, middle and leg. Well, middle stump's sort of okay, but you don't want to be bowling middle and leg stump. It's an easy shot for the right-handers to play it away on the leg side. The ball's always pitching outside leg stump. You're not going to be LBW.
Well, the couple she bowled in the first over that went straight through to the keeper, they were just beautiful, just outside off stump, coming across the right-handed batter. Oh, she aborts her run-up as the third man is called up into the ring. There's now a sweeper either side, square of the wicket either side, as Norris comes in to Freeborn. That's a half volley. Freeborn's pushed that into the covers. Sophie Mitchell-Moore can't stop that, and it's backed up by the sweeper, by Emily Windsor, as they complete 2 runs. It looks like Sophie Mitchell-Moore might have landed a bit funny there. She's holding her arm. She's had a shoulder injury, so I hope that's nothing to do with that. She's had a horrible shoulder injury, actually, that's kept her out of all forms of cricket for most of this season.
Was she?
She was absolutely dying to get back to the sport. She played a couple of club games with us, and then obviously got this call up on Saturday. But she looks like she's in a little bit of bother here as the physio's coming on. Just the way she's holding her shoulder, she's going off. Yeah, do you think it's her shoulder she's holding?
I think it is. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, the physio's looking at it.
She had
right shoulder.
Yes, right shoulder. She had a bad dislocation. Is that a right word? Dislocation?
Yeah. Dislocated?
Dislocated, yeah.
We're no doctors, so we're doing our best. I think you're right. I think she's going off.
Yeah.
So we are going to get... Now, is this Kiara Green, who made her debut on Saturday, but actually has lost her place to Lauren Bell? Is that her coming on? I think it is.
I think it is, yeah.
Who's from Sussex. She fills in for the captaincy at Sussex Women when Georgia Adams is on Vipers duty, or any other team that she's playing above the county level. I think it is Kiara, is it? She's been given a number. Well, actually, no, she's got Charlotte Taylor's number on.
She has.
Yeah, which is not helping.
So I think that probably is Kiara. She didn't have a number on Saturday, so...
No, that's right. So obviously we now know that Charlotte Taylor has more than one shirt. 28 for 1 then in the 5th as Bell bowls. That's a good shot in the air, but it could be caught at mid-on and under it. Yes, good catch. Super catch, Georgia Elwes. And it's Sonia Dedra who's gone, who hit a lovely shot earlier down the ground, but this time it's been a downfall. She goes for 11 and Lightning now 28 for 2.
Yeah, I was surprised at that shot selection, given that's exactly where the fielder was, to take that on first ball of the over. Straight down the throat of Georgia Elwes there at long on.
And it was literally down her throat. She didn't have to move too much to her left or her right or even forward or back. She was right on the rope and she took a comfortable catch. Sonia Dedra making a mistake there. It was just in the slot, wasn't it? I think she just went through with the shot anyway.
The Central Sparks look like they're going to struggle to reach that 165 that was set by South East Stars. Eve Jones, the captain there, is now out for 76, and it looks like they're going to fall short of the total, which will leave South East Stars top of the group and also top of both groups, and that would secure their place in the final. So it's just a battle now for the two teams that are going to be in the eliminator. But that game's not over yet. Stranger things have happened. But it's looking like it's going to be a South East Stars win at the moment.
So South East Stars go through to the final.
Yeah.
So Vipers can only now qualify, assuming that South East Stars win.
Yeah.
The Vipers can only qualify as the best second place team.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
The team from the other group had a Western Storm Diamonds and Thunder, and any of those can qualify. They will go through to the final and play the Vipers if they win this. Here's Lauren Bell bowls. It's down the leg side again, bowling to Abby Freeborn. That'll be called another wide. All taken by Carla Rudd. She's been kept busy moving to her left there. So that's the situation we see at the moment. The Lightning, I guess we don't want to emphasise the point too much, but a win here this afternoon will mean that they end this competition at least with a win, which will be something. 29 for 2 in the 5th. Having won the toss and elected to bat first. Harmer for 5, Dedra for 11. The two batters out. Again, it's down the leg side. It's off the pad. It's gone in the air off the bat. And Lauren Bell dives to her right. Can't quite get there. Well, that was a bit bizarre because it hit the pad first. And as the bat went through the line, it just caught the back of it. Very odd.
Very odd.
Almost a very odd dismissal.
Yeah, it just sort of popped up agonisingly out of reach of even the long arms of Lauren Bell.
She survives, does Abby Freeborn. She's in good nick, as we've been saying. The Lightning will be relying on her somewhat. Sophie Mitchell will still sitting there.
Yeah, I was just saying, the good news is she's not having any attention at the minute.
Bell comes into Freeborn. It's outside the off stump, full, and it's driven, and two of the Vipers stop the ball at point. Just as well, you often see a situation where they leave it for each other, but Ella Chandler and Emily Windsor combining there to making sure that ball didn't breach that 30-yard circle. 30 for 2. Freeborn has 7 now, and Lucy Hyam, the new batter for Lightning, the 23-year-old. She's also been playing for the Trent Rockets in the 100 competition. Previously played for the Loughborough Lightning in the Kia Super League. Remember the Kia Super League? Remember those days?
Yep, seems a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Was that 2 years ago now?
Two or three, yeah. I think it started in 2016.
Yeah. It was 2019, I think was the last year, wasn't it? Now that's smacked on the pad. I think that's going down. It's close. Oh, it's gone. Oh, the finger goes up. And Hyam goes. And she goes for no score. And Lauren Bell, restored to the side after missing Saturday, has picked up her second wicket. 30 for 3.
Yeah, umpire Grace Banbury there. She gave it a lot of thought. There was a lot of time between the appeal and her giving the decision. But I think it kept quite low for one of Lauren Bell's deliveries. So height wasn't an issue, but like you say, possibly sliding down the leg side.
That's definitely one to have a look on the live picture feed if you're watching. It's on the Derbyshire Cricket website and also been streamed back on the Vipers Twitter feed. Big shout from Lauren Bell. She seemed convinced. And we're still in the 5th over here. And Lauren Bell's picked up a couple of wickets. So Lucy Hyam gone. And the Lightning have made a promising start. Have lost 3 wickets for 9 runs. Just waiting to see. New batter is Teresa Graves for the Lightning. 22 years old. She's also been playing for the Trent Rockets in the 100. Bit of work to do now for the Lightning. Bit of repairing to do after a promising start. Harmer for 5, Adedra for 11, Lucy Hyam, no score. In fact, that was her first ball. She was out first ball, actually. Down the leg side again from Lauren Bell. Again, still see this mixture from her. Some nice bowling where the ball comes in and swings into the right-hander, but it's been mixed with some balls down the leg side.
Yeah, it's frustrating in this shorter format. You can't get away with that many wides, and you've only got 4 overs in the game to contribute. You need to keep those wides down to a minimum, and there's probably a few too many from Bell at the minute. Comes
in again. That's a better line. Inside edge, goes down towards fine leg, and Charlotte Taylor's running after it. She won't catch it. Well, that's what happens when she puts it just outside off stump. The batsmen go for it, but the swing then catches the inside edge. And that's 4 runs, 35 for 3. Teresa Graves off the mark. Hasn't scored too many runs in this competition. Of course, sort of coming in the middle order in T20 cricket's not easy. 39 runs from 5 innings before this afternoon. Strike rate of 72 per 100 balls. Quite an upright stance, Teresa Graves, as she faces Lauren Bell again. It's down the leg side, wraps on the pad there, Graves. Goes to Charlotte Taylor on the 45, and that will be the end of the over. Quite a long over, that. A couple of wickets in it, and sort of wides again. 35 for 3.
Is there any sort of penalty in this for over rates, like there is in the men's blast competition?
That I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you work for Opta, don't you? Doesn't that reach you? Opta, other stats companies available?
So we're more aware of it in the men's because they seem to take longer. It's not been an issue in the women's game, so I'm not sure.
There was a danger the other night. This probably won't interest Lightning listeners too much, or even Derbyshire listeners, but in the T20 quarter-final, not so far away from here at Nottingham, Hampshire against Nottingham, which I was at last Wednesday, where it was the most thrilling T20 tie you'll see for a little while, where Hampshire were out of it for 3/4 of the game and got themselves back into it, then very nearly lost it again, and they picked the game up in the end, and it looked like they were going to run out of time in terms of bowling the overs, and you think, what, this is the best game ever?
We've got Charlotte Taylor coming on at the City end, and she's bowling to Abby Freeborn, who's just tickled that down to fine leg for a single. So Charlotte Taylor coming into the game for the first time in the 6th over, so just inside the power play.
It's been one of the success stories of the last couple of seasons. Charlotte Taylor coming from absolutely nowhere, not even in the Vipers squad last year.
Yeah, she got a call up because of a couple of injuries here there, and made an impact straight away, and then obviously an even bigger impact in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint final up at Edgbaston, where she took 6 wickets. She comes in, bowls over the wicket, and that's a good length ball just pushed to extra cover for no run. Made an absolute splash last year on this scene. Got herself a contract with the Southern Brave in the 100. She comes in, that's flighted up, and again just pushed to extra cover for no run. She had a few games in the 100. I think she played 3 games. Looked a bit nervous, I thought, in the first game. Bowled quite a few full tosses, which is unlike her. She's usually very consistent with her lines and lengths. She comes in, and Teresa Graves has had a bit of a swipe of that to leg side, but mistimed it, and it just sort of runs to the short mid wicket again for no run. So just 1 off the first 4 balls of Charlotte Taylor's over. And she comes in again. Again, it's a really good length push. She's got an outside edge to that, and that's also gone to fielder inside the ring at 3rd man. So still just the 1 run off this over. Really tidy stuff. This is back to the Charlotte Taylor we were talking about from last season. She comes in, and she's had a bit of a swipe of that again, but once again mistimed that completely, and it's just gone to Paige Schofield at short mid wicket for no run. So just a single off that over. To end the power play, Lightning are 36 for the loss of 3 wickets.
Yeah, Harmouth for 5, Ededra for 11, and Higham for no score. Yeah, she's been a bit inconsistent, hasn't she, in the last few weeks? She didn't actually play in the final for the Brave up at Lord's, nearly a couple of weeks ago, that one. In fact, didn't feature for the Brave as much as she would have liked. But that's a bit more, as you say, that's a bit more like the old Charlotte Taylor, really, a bit of drift.
A bit of drift, good line of length, and I don't know about you, but she just looked confident there. It was sort of bowl the ball, get the ball back to me, I want to bowl again. And you get that kind of confidence with the spinner, whereas in the Brave, I thought she was lacking that confidence a bit, but it's a big step up for, like you say, almost this time last year, she wasn't in the professional scene, and she's jumped up so well and obviously got into the 100 squad, so it's been a sort of roller coaster of a ride for her over the last 12-14 months.
Certainly has. Now Paige Schofield with her right arm medium pacers into the attack, taking over from Lauren Bell. The first ball is full, it's on middle and leg, and it's sort of dug out really by Abby Freeborn, and that goes back to Paige Schofield, who hasn't had a great time with the bat in this competition, but as usual with her medium pacers, is very accurate and just puts a little bit of pressure on the batsmen. The batters, I shouldn't say batsmen, batters. Been doing too much men's cricket. Here comes Paige Schofield, runs away from us. In its full, it's a low full toss, and it's driven, fielded by Ella Chandler at backward point. Throws it in hard at the bowler's end. Ball goes through Paige Schofield and backed up by Lauren Bell.
Yeah, I don't know if Paige Schofield and Georgia Adams are 2 bowlers that I think have possibly been underused by the Vipers. And obviously Adams is captain herself, so that's in her control.
Yeah. So it worked on the offside. Trying to find some room there, Freeborn. Can't find it as it goes to extra cover.
But I know that when a captain is in the side predominantly as a batter, and they are a sort of part-time bowler, as soon as they become captain, they often underbowl themselves,
yeah,
I feel. And she bowled a couple of overs on Saturday and looked quite effective.
Yeah. Schofield bowls. Himes trying to find room again there, and the ball just cuts back in a fraction and just worked out towards mid-wicket. In fact, Paige Schofield only bowled for the first time in this competition at the weekend against the South East Stars. Yeah. Only conceded 21 of her full. That's
what I mean. She was bowling a few overs last season and then not really been used this year.
Until she had some injuries, didn't she?
She had a few injuries, and then obviously the Vipers were a few bowlers down on Saturday, so Adams and Schofield came in and had a bowl.
Yeah. Comes into Freeborn, mid-on's gone out, and that ball is immediately driven up to Georgia Adams, the Vipers captain, who positioned herself at deep mid-on. They just changed the field with a third man coming up, obviously thinking that Freeborn is looking to get on with it a little bit. She's on 9, Teresa Graves back on strike on 4, 37 for 3 here, the Lightning. As Schofield comes in again, keeper Carla Rudd standing up. It's worked on the onside, but only as far as mid-wicket, and that's fielded by Georgia Elwis. End of the over. The Vipers are just starting to get a bit of a grip on this game, with only 2 singles off the last 2 overs scored by the home side.
Yeah, they've pulled this back well. Lightning were scoring runs quite nicely in the first couple of overs, but the loss of 3 wickets inside that power play has pegged them back a little bit, and now they're batting, as if they've got to obviously want to see the 20 overs through. So they're being a little bit more cautious, and we've just seen 2 new bowlers as well into the attack. So they're probably just having a look at the new bowling. And we've got Charlotte Taylor continuing at the City end. She's coming in bowling to Abby Freeborn. And again, that's a good length ball. Abby's managed to step back and push that into the offside for a single.
It's just all about bowling accurately, isn't it, really? I mean, neither Lauren Bell or Tara Norris you would say were accurate.
No, and this is just good line and length, and just keeping the batsman under control. That's a little bit back of a length, and she had a good swipe through the line of that to long off, but that was cut off. Is that Georgia Adams there as well?
It is, yeah. Pace taken off by Charlotte Taylor as the ball came past her.
In comes Taylor. That's a more flighted delivery, and Abby Freeborn actually got under that, and it floated over the head of Ella Chandler at point and to the deep cover boundary, where Emily Windsor picks that up and keeps that down to a single.
40 for 3 now, Lightning.
Taylor coming into Teresa Graves. That could be... Oh, no. Well, Teresa Graves completely mistimed that. Oh, double trouble for Vipers. She mistimed that to mid-off, and Georgia Adams dropped a relatively straightforward catch, I'd have to say. And then, possibly in a little bit of anger, threw at the stumps to try and go for the run-out, but ended up in an overthrow. So we had a drop catch and buzzers off what was actually a good ball. As Taze comes into Freeborn, she's cut that away to the cover sweeper, who again keeps that down to a single.
Well, one thing the women do is pride themselves on their fielding. I don't
Yeah.
think Georgia Adams will be particularly pleased with that drop catch.
That was just in and out, wasn't it?
Yeah. Straight in the palm of the hands and popped out.
Taylor over the wicket. That was sliding down leg, and Teresa Graves has just helped that on its way. There's no fielder down there, so they might be able to pick up 2 as Alice Monaghan comes round to clear up, and that's an easy 2 in the end as she throws it back into wicketkeeper Carla Rudd. The score is 42 for 3 off 8. Sorry, 44 for 3. Scoreboard's just ticked over off 8.
7 runs off it. One of the better overs for Lightning. In fact, the second over went for 10. That's been their best over to date. There's plenty of county championship matches going on today. I guess ones that relate to what's going on here. Middlesex against Derbyshire. That's a Division 3 game there. Middlesex 142 for 4. It's day 1 of this this second phase of the county championship, a new look competition this year. There'll be live commentary of that on the BBC Sport website. There's Paige Schofield bowls, and it's yorked, and it's somehow come off the bottom of the bat down towards fine leg. Tara Norris comes around from backwards square leg. They run through for 2. What's the umpire going to signal? Make those byes. Missed by the batter and missed by Carla Rudd behind the stumps as well. In Division 1 of the County Championship, Hampshire taking on Yorkshire. Yorkshire 91 for 3. There's live commentary of that one as well on the BBC Sport website. 46 for 3 here at Derby, the Lightning having won the toss.
Can confirm that the South East Stars have beaten Central Sparks by 26 runs up at Edgbaston, so they will be going through as the top placed team straight through to the final next Sunday. So Vipers now need to win to get into that eliminator.
Yes, Schofield bowls to Freeborn. Freeborn drives up to mid-on, but Elwes is on the 30, just inside the 30-yard circle, so no run scored there. Here, just confirmation in Group A there. South East Stars, 21 points for them. Nobody can get near that. Even the Vipers, if they win today, can't get close to that. So they are clear winners and into that final, as Gemma says. That's hoiked away from a good length ball. It's gone square on the leg side. That's bisected the field. 4 runs. Nice shot there from Abby Freeborn. Just played and hit across the line to a good length ball. Paige Schofield probably thinking she didn't do too much wrong. Freeborn did it all right. She moves on to 16. 50 for 3, the 50 up for the Lightning. Nice shot. Difficult to bowl to that. Just bowl a length ball and you get hoiked across the line. There's not a lot you can do. You just keep the ball in the right areas and hope the batter misses. As Schofield bowls, drives, nice shot. A little bit fuller this time as that goes down towards deep mid-on. Elwes is deep this time.
Yeah, she did well to dissect those 2 fielders on the leg side, not because they're particularly close together, but it is such a long boundary that they had both had time to get round, but it was a hit too well.
Schofield bowling to Teresa Graves now. Graves has 8. Bowls on the line of leg stump, tries to flick that away on the leg side, gets wrapped on the pad. Half shot for an LBW, but that was way down the leg side. Ball ricochets out on the off, and Ella Chandler fields. Playing her second game for the Vipers. She'll be chuffed for that. You know her well as well, don't you, Ella?
Ella Chandler, yes, she plays her club cricket at Aldershot, who we play at least twice every year. Yeah. So yeah, we've played Ella quite a few times.
That's driven hard out towards mid-off. Now Elwes has got a little bit to do here, moving to her right. She will cut it off, palms it off to Alice Monaghan and almost threw it past her. Monaghan does well. They give each other a little bit of a leg pump, actually. I think it was going to be a fist pump, but not at all. We being Hursley Park ladies, for the benefit of everybody listening and watching, because Gemma plays for a team just outside Southampton, who actually play in the National League.
Yeah, we played Ella earlier this year, and she was on 70 odd, batting very nicely. We had absolutely no options or plans of how to get her out, and then luckily she slipped when she was halfway down the wicket, giving us an easy run out, and that was the only way we were going to get her out that day. When she's in and she's set and batting at her home ground in Aldershot, which she knows very well, she's a very tough player to dismiss.
Yeah.
And she batted really well on Saturday for the Vipers, really well.
I think how many she made, actually came in low down, didn't she? A lot of these Vipers players just don't get a lick in normally. 23 she made.
Taylor continuing from the far end. She comes into bowls, that's pitched up, flighted, and Abby Freeborn has driven that through to Emily Windsor on the deep cover boundary for a single.
Nice shot, that. Looks a strong player, doesn't she, Abby Freeborn?
She does, and obviously gaining confidence in this later part of the season. In comes Taylor. That's dropped a little bit shorter, and Freeborn's pulled her hands through that, and that has gone through mid-wicket for 4 runs. That's split the 2 fielders at long on and mid-wicket. That's another 4 to Abby Freeborn as she moves on to 22. Teresa Graves, sorry, moves on to 14. I don't know if I'm ahead of the scoreboard or behind it sometimes. Yeah, Teresa Graves, apologies. Taylor coming in. Teresa Graves come down the wicket to that. She's hooked that over to long on. There is a fielder there, so it'll just be the single.
Nice shot again as well, wasn't it? Playing nice and straight, these two. Odd shot across the line, but generally it's solid straight.
Taylor comes in. That one's pitched up a bit. That tucks Abby Freeborn up a little bit, and she just pushes that back to the bowler for no run. Yeah, I think in the 100, they were saying that Taylor never had a long on, and a lot of runs went down there, which is quite a common position for an off spinner. I know she's not a big turner of the ball. As she comes in, and Freeborn's tried to sweep that, and it wasn't really the right length, and she's just sort of got herself in a bit of a muddle, but no drama, it's just a dot ball. Yeah, she didn't have a long on, and a lot of players took her on there, and early on in the innings, and got off to a good start against her, so I don't know if that dented her confidence or not. There was obviously some plan or some reason why she didn't have that, but she did leak quite a few runs through that area. That ball, Abby Freeborn's tried to cut that away, but player missed through to Carla Rudd, and that ends the over, and Lightning are 59 for 3 off 9.
No, 10, halfway through.
10.
Yeah, the scoreboard's just taking a bit of time. Both the batters out in the middle play for the Trent Rockets. Abby Freeborn had 6 innings in the 100 competition, top score of 30. Teresa Graves had a couple of games, but only 1 innings. So didn't really get a chance to show much what she could do with the bat. A bit like Emily Windsor playing for the Trent Rockets, who's in the Vipers side.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for those players. They're obviously, they're trying to make a mark, trying to get somewhere in at that level of cricket, which is new to them. I know Emily Windsor in the last 2 months has only faced 25 balls in the middle in any form of cricket, because she does bat low down the order, and obviously these competitions are short format at the moment.
Yeah.
In the 50 overs, she'll possibly get a bit more time.
Sure. Now we've got some Georgia Elwes with her right-arm medium paces. She's on the money straight away, driven up to mid-on off a good length ball fielded by Paige Schofield. Yeah, so Emily Windsor reuniting with Abby Freeborn, Lucy Hyam and Teresa Graves, the 3 batters in this Lightning side who are playing for the Trent Rockets as well. 59 for 3 as Elwes comes in again and bowls, trying to swat that away on the leg side. Teresa Graves doesn't get hold of that at all. Georgia Adams coming in from mid-wicket. Still overcast, although the clouds are quite high. No, don't think there's any danger of any rain. Don't think there's any forecast, so we should be okay. We are right behind the arm here. And a good view of the play. Teresa Graves with that upright stance with the bat sort of behind her, waiting for the next delivery. It's on middle and leg, and that's worked away on the onside. Tara Norris comes in off the boundary. Graves will pick up a single. She moves on to 16. Freeborn back on strike on 18. 59 for 3. The 3 batters out so far. Beth Harmer for 5. Adedra for 11. Lucy Hyam first ball. They were 30 for 3 at one stage. Lightning, so these two have put on 30. getting them back on track, trying to anyway, as Elwish bowl. Slightly slower ball, and Freeborn waited for that and just tucked that into the gap square on the leg side. 61 for 3, nice play. A few spectators at the far end of the ground in that sort of semi-permanent stand. Well wrapped up. I don't think it's the warmest out there actually, but they look well wrapped up. Part of that stand blacked out with the black screening because the wicket is fairly central here as Graves goes hard at mid-on, slightly aerial initially, but Pace Schofield is out just to our right at deep mid-on. 62 for 3 that is now.
Just looking at Sophie Mitchell-Moore, she sat with the other two from the squad that aren't playing today. She's not receiving any medical attention. She's not holding any ice packs anywhere. So hopefully that's good news.
Yeah, they don't seem to be rushing her back on, do they? That's another leg ball, which Freeborn's just quite happy to play it out into the gap on the leg side. As we see in men's T20 cricket, there's a gap in front of square on the leg side with the boundary generally patrolled, rather than anybody in close around that 30-yard circle. So there's usually a single in that area. Freeborn takes advantage. She moves on to 20, keeps the strike. 11 gone. Lightning having won the toss, 63 for 3. 4 runs off that one.
Yeah, it's good over from the experience of Georgia Elwes. That's what we generally see for her. Good line and length, good disciplines, keeping things under control. Just having a sanitise break at the moment. And it looks like we're having a change at the City end. Tara Norris is coming back on that end, having opened the bowling from the same end earlier.
Yeah, a bit of a mixture, wasn't it, really? 2 overs, 1 for 15. Tara Norris picked up the wicket of Beth Harmer. In fact, a bit lucky too as well, wasn't it? It wasn't the greatest of ball. Beth Harmer swinging away on the leg side. Good catch from Alice Monaghan on the boundary.
In comes the left arm of Norris. That's a full ball. That's a half volley that's been driven to extra cover. Emily Windsor out there again, doing a lot of work out there at the minute. So it is a very long boundary square of the wicket, but she's got a good arm and she's quick to the ball, so that's why she's out there.
Yeah, did that job for the Trent Rockets as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
A lot of boundary fielding. She does that for the Vipers all the time.
So Teresa Graves on strike now as Norris runs in. Another effort ball there, as we heard the grunt on the mic. That's driven straight down the ground for a single.
Nice strong shot again from Teresa Graves. Get some power behind some of those shots, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, swinging with a full swing of the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know, when I watch from the Ageas Bowl, I sit in a room where I can't open a window, so I don't hear any of these kind of noises. But there's certainly some grunting from Norris at the minute as she comes in and bowls. That's cut away by Abby Freeborn. Oh dear, just bigging up Emily Windsor on the offside boundary. That one's gone through her legs for 4. That's a rare error from Emily. So that's 4 runs just backward of point on the offside for Freeborn as she moves on to 25.
She won't be happy with that. One of my fellow commentators for New Hampshire men down south is doing her. She's back on TMS duty this Saturday in the women's one of the women's internationals against New Zealand. I think they start. I think they start before Saturday, don't they? But she's that's the first of some games that she's doing for TMS, starting on Saturday for her.
Norris coming round the wicket now. She pulls that good length ball. Abby Freeborn's just pushed that into the covers. Ella Chandler picks that up, clean throw in, but they're home for an easy single. Score moves on to 70.
Useful partnership this, Gemma.
Yeah, from 30 for 3. They've consolidated this quite nicely. 70 for 3 now in the 12th over. Still a long time in this innings, so they've rebuilt a good platform.
Looking strong, these two.
Tara Norris remaining round the wicket. That's a ball slightly back the length. There's a big shout for LB from Norris. Not many others interested. Sue Redfern certainly not as the umpire. That was just back of the length, and Graves tried to pull that, hit her pad, but maybe too high. It's at the wrong end for us here, but What do you think, Kev?
I think
Too
that was
high?
my first thought, yeah. Exactly my first thought, yeah. Just watching the replay there. Going down, actually, as well. But apart from that, it might have been close.
Tara Norris, in she comes, and that's a fuller ball. Graves has had a swipe of that. Oh, there was a chance for a run out there. Good backing up. I think Emily might have worn one in the face there. That was just pulled to backward square leg or short fine leg, and the sub fielder who's on for Mitchell Moore, which is Kiara Green, picked that up quickly, threw that in. Chance direct hit might have been run out, but it didn't hit, and it was backed up by Emily Windsor, who I think took one in the face. She's
she did, yeah, palmed it into her face.
Stretching her neck at the minute, but I think she'll be okay.
She's had a tough over or so there, didn't she? This field on the boundary.
That's an over I'll talk to her about later in the week.
Yeah. I mean, one of the many teams that she's been playing for, same club as Gemma Green here, my co-commentator. I'm Kevin James. Just having a look at the worm there, if you're watching on the live picture feed. Pretty steady stuff from the Lightning, but a useful partnership here, which is, with 8 overs to go, giving them a good base as Elwes bowls, and let's hit away hard. Couple of bounces down to fine legs, and quickly to Paige Schofield. Gets in behind that nicely. And the Lightning move on to 72 for 3. Graves has 20, and Freeborn back on strike has 26. Will be Freeborn in good form in this competition. 30 up at New Road on Saturday, and a 60 against the Stars at Guildford last week. It's worked on the offside. That'll be a single behind square, fielded by Charlotte Taylor.
So the in this competition, let's say the other game in our group has finished with South East Stars beating Central Sparks to go to stay top. The other group, Western Storm have had a really good start against Sunrisers. Western Storm are currently 81 for 1 off 13. If they win, they will remain top.
There's always again that driven hard out towards deep mid wicket, and Monaghan does the fielding there away to our right. 74 for 3.
But the Northern Diamonds, who are currently second behind Storm by just 1 point, they've also had a good start. They are bowling and currently have Thunder 68 for 4 off 13. So the two teams there, that's Western Storm and Northern Diamonds, both hustling for top position in that table.
Elwes bowls to Freeborn. Freeborn's going to be stumped. Comes down the wicket. Almost yorked herself there. Well taken by Carla Rudd. Quick hands there. Fetches the bails off. And Freeborn diving back in vain. Goes for 27. And the Lightning now are 74 for 4.
Yeah, that was really quick work by Carla Rudd. And so she came down the wicket, probably didn't read the length quite right, got herself in a bit of a problem area, and Carla Rudd was quick with the bails there.
Well, the Vipers needed that. Good work behind the stumps from Carla Rudd. To Freeborn in an effort to sort of get the scoring going even quicker. Just really sort of overrun it, really. But you're right. It's just going back to what you were saying there, Gemma. I mean, it's a really interesting afternoon, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot going on in Group A, but there's even more going on in Group B, with 3 sides vying for that top spot.
And to say there's just the 1 point between first and second, and another 1 point between second and third. So with the bonus point on offer as well, it's all very much all to play for. It'll be interesting come the second innings of those games to see what the options are with regards to picking up that bonus point, which will be really, really important to the Northern Diamonds, who are currently 1 point behind Storm.
Now the new batter is Sachi Pai for Lightning, the 22-year-old right-hander who was playing for Derbyshire in the Women's T20 competition earlier this season. It's moved around a bit. Lancashire before that, Cumbria women. He's in facing Georgia Elwes bowls. It's a full delivery and it's straight, and Pai had to play that straight as well. It's a good piece of bowling. New batter, bowl it as straight as you can, good length, and just see if the batter makes a mistake. But Pai met it with a good straight bat. And the Lightning remain on 74 for 4. 4 innings for Pye up until today, 49 runs in total. That remains 49 runs as he pushes out on the offside. 13 overs gone here, 7 to do at the Incora County Ground in Derby. Lightning 74 for 4, 3 runs off it.
It'll be interesting to see what the Vipers do with their batting orders today. Obviously, we've mentioned some of the top players not being here, and Vipers' top order's certainly been disrupted by the absence of Danny Wyatt and now Maya Bouchier. They tried Tara Norris opening with Adams on Saturday. That didn't work out probably as they planned, but it'd be interesting to see what they've done today, especially after the little cameo knock that Alice Monaghan had.
Yes.
You've also got Ella Chana and hopefully Sophie Mitchell-Moore if her injury's not too bad. So it'll be interesting to see what they do at the top of the order. We've got Charlotte Taylor now coming back on at the City end. As she comes in, bowls over the wicket to Graves, and that's pushed down the ground for a comfortable single as Tara Norris comes in and clears up.
Charlotte Taylor's first 3 overs costing 14. This is her last. Yeah, I mean, I personally would put Monaghan opening after the way she played on Saturday and drop Tara Norris back down sort of that lower middle order that she's used to. But I suppose it depends on what the Vipers need.
What they're chasing and what they need. We've got Saatchi Pye on strike here now to Taylor as she comes in. There's another appeal for a stumping there, and that has been given too. That looked like she just dragged her foot out. She didn't seem to advance down the wicket quite like Abby Freeborn did in the previous over. But she's dragged her foot out. Carla Rudd's again quick with the gloves, quick glove work, and umpire Grace Banbury at square leg has given that out. So Pye goes for 0. Was that her first ball? Did she face a ball in the last?
3.
Face one. So that's a duck for Pye today, as Lightning are 75 for 5.
Now that is a classic Charlotte Taylor delivery, isn't it? Really. Where everybody is. This is what's made her go from not even in the Viper squad last year to being one of the top domestic bowlers, isn't it? Although she hasn't shown it in the last few weeks, as we've been explaining earlier. But she's not really an off spinner, although she is an off spinner. It's the drift she gets away from the right hander that is her forte, and what got her those 6 wickets in that Rachel Hayher Trophy final at Edgbaston last year, where the batters are playing her like an off-spin.
Yeah, and it's just dragging them out.
The drift. And I mean, Saatchi there was, Pye was drawn out, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And they just overbalanced, and Carla Rudd has the bails off again. 2 stumpings for Carla Rudd in very quick succession. But that is what Charlotte Taylor is all about. So
looks like we've got Ella Claridge come into the middle now, who this is just her second game in the competition.
Yeah.
Made her debut on Saturday.
Yeah. Wonderful moment on Saturday it would have been from the Lightning Academy.
She plays her county cricket at Buckinghamshire. She's on strike now as Taylor comes in, bowls over the wicket. That's another beauty of a delivery, good line and length, and she went to push at that, but just play and miss into the gloves of Carla Rudd.
Again, it's that drift, isn't it, away from the right hander. Have to be careful.
And Taylor comes in, that's a fuller ball, and she's had a slog sweep at that out to mid-wicket. There's a fielder out there, Georgia Adams, the captain, fields that, and that's an easy single to get her off strike and down the other end.
Tell you what, not a bad shot. Second ball.
She had one look at it and then and then decided to take it on.
That's confidence for you.
So Taylor now to Graves. That's pitched up. Taylor Graves comes down the wicket and pushes that too long off. Again, a comfortable single as the fielder's set back on the rope there.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Claridge does in this innings. Playing a shot like that. I mean, it was in the area. It was the right shot to play.
Oh, Taylor comes in, but her run-up's aborted as the captain is making a couple of changes to the field. She had a backward square leg. She's just brought her in to short mid-wicket. Taylor starts her run-up again. In comes, that's a full-flighted delivery. Once again, Claridge has had a sweep at that out to... Sorry, it's not Adams out there, it's Paige Schofield out at mid-wicket and boundary for a single. And that ends the over, and that ends Charlotte Taylor's spell of 4 overs for 18. 1 wicket for 18 off her 4. Lightning are 78 for 5.
Wow, another slog sweep out on the offside from Claridge. Hits that in front of square, gets on that nice and early. That's obviously a shot. Oh, it certainly seems, just on the few balls we've watched today. And it's not a bad one either. A slightly shorter boundary away to our right, towards the net area here. Those of you that know the Incora County Ground in Derby, we're at the racecourse end, the end that Elvis is just about to bowl from. So we're right behind her arm, and just to our right is the net area where they play, and that's a slightly shorter boundary, but only slightly. Length ball, which is nicely cracked out away on the offside, out towards deep cover. Emily Windsor picks that up cleanly.
What's that building there, Kev? Is that an old school box?
It's a hotel.
No, the tiny one.
Oh, right, yes. Well, that's interesting. Yes, that is. So you've got two brick buildings. The immediate one to our right is where the press used to sit, the written press. As that's hitting the air. Now that could be caught deep mid wicket. Monahan under it. She has a safe pair of hands. No trouble there. Teresa Graves goes for 23. Hit low and hard, but it was straight at Monahan. She doesn't make much mistakes. Doesn't make any mistakes in that position. And Graves goes for 23. It's 79 for 6. So yeah, so you've got that sort of brick building, which on my last few visits here, sort of media-wise, the written press are along there. What's happening there now, I don't know, because obviously this is the media centre. And then further along is where we used to do commentaries from. That brick building there. And the groundsman used to be in there as well. Whether they're still in there, I don't know. As I say, I haven't been here for quite a few years now. So we used to commentate literally from square of the wicket. I know, it was quite hard work, obviously. It's like watching tennis. But that's where we used to be. And before that, over sort of 1 o'clock as we look, that single-storey building, there's a cafe there. And there used to be a sort of a semi-permanent sort of prefab where we used to do commentaries in there.
So they're moving you around the ground.
Roof. Yeah, we gradually move it. We'll go all the way around, Mitch. We'll be down towards our left at the end. 79 for 6 then, and it's Kirsty Gordon, the next batter in for the Lightning. And she's been playing for Birmingham Phoenix. But it's Claridge on strike, length ball. Claridge gets an inside edge, goes out square on the leg side. I thought Elvis had her hands on her head, but she did, not in the thought that it was going to sneak through, but it's because she's redoing the bun on her hair. I have to be careful with that. I mean, I look at it, I go, oh my gosh, she thinks that's close. But actually what she's done is she's undone her hair tie and redoing it. So that brings Kirsty Gordon on strike, the 23-year-old. Elvis bowls. It's on the line of leg stump. Oh, very nearly. That's not far away from leg stump, I don't think.
I was going to say, you don't get the hair tying up as such an issue in the men's game, but with the styles of like Rory Burns and that, if that catches on, there might be a bit more of that.
Yeah, a few man buns around now, aren't there? There are. Who was it the other day? Oh, the guy who plays at Gloucestershire. The left-hander. I think he's captain. Gosh, his name escapes me for a moment. It's Elvis bowls. That's straight. But nicely played by Gordon into the gap on the leg side. Runs the first one quickly. They won't get two unless Monahan doesn't pick up cleanly, but she does. Oh gosh, the captain of Gloucestershire, left-hander, was injured earlier on in the season with a finger injury. Didn't play against Hampshire in the final championship game down at Cheltenham. I'll think of his name. Everybody's shouting. I know if you're watching on the screen or listening on the BBC website, you'll be shouting the name, and I can't think of it. But you know, he's got a man bun as well. There's a nice drive there from Claridge. He was a good little player. Fielded by Paige Schofield down at deep mid-on. The total moves on to 83 for 6. I'll have to look that up because I know everybody's shouting now and saying, it's that, Kev. I'll think of it in a minute, it'll come to me. Gordon back on strike then. Looks like she's sort of batting bad off stump there at least, maybe just a fraction outside. That's just worked behind square on the leg side. It's good play from Gordon. Just a couple of balls, got a couple of singles, just easing herself into the innings, not done anything silly, and just keeping the scoreboard ticking along. 84 for 6 then, 15 gone, 5 to do. I can't think of his name. You can't think either, can you?
No.
You haven't got a clue, have you?
No.
No. You can't help me out, Gemma. I should know. I've seen him play loads of times. And as soon I'm going to look it up. And as soon as I see the name, I go, why on earth didn't I remember that? He's got a man bun.
So Taylor, having finished her spell for the match, has come off and is being replaced by Paige Schofield at the City end.
Chris Dent.
Oh, that is a man bun.
Yeah.
Also, they call that a messy bun, I think. That's a thing.
A man bun.
Paige Schofield with her medium pace coming over the wicket. Bowls to Gordon, who's just driven that through the offside for a single. Carla Rudd is stood up to the medium pace of Paige Schofield. Kirsty Gordon just happy to push the singles at the moment. Still 5 overs left in this game. As Paige Schofield comes in again past the umpire. That's a false ball, slower ball attempted, I think. That's been driven down the ground to long on for another single.
She's got not a bad little player, does she, Ella Claridge?
No. So it's quite organised.
Yeah.
In comes Paige, got another full ball, and that's just turned to the leg side, but the captain, Georgia Adams, is there about 5-10 yards inside the ring, so there's no single to her.
Just, yeah, I'll come back to that.
Gordon, oh, there's a big appeal there for LB. Gordon tried to sweep that, but it was a little bit outside off stump, and she ended up edging it down to third man for what turned out to be a single. Sort of half to 3/4 appeal from Schofield, nothing more than that.
Right across the stumps, wouldn't she? Probably too much outside off stump. Yeah, just outside off stump.
That means Claridge back on strike, and that's a ball that's been dragged back of a length, and she has split the two fielders on the leg side there. Pulled that strong pull for 4. There is a fielder at backward square, and there's a fielder at mid-wicket on the boundary, but she's placed that beautifully between the two of them.
Oh, sure. Claridge doing a good job here for the Lightning.
And that wasn't a really short ball, it was just sort of back of a length. But she was quick onto that and able to pull that into the area between the two fielders. She moves on to 10. In comes Schofield. Another full ball that's pushed down the ground. Too long on for a single. So Lightning just able to rotate the strike here and then put the ball that was slightly short away for 4. Brings the score on to 92 for 6 with 4 overs left in the game.
Well, it looks a good pitch, doesn't it, Gemma?
It looks a good pitch, and I say we keep saying it's a big outfield, but it's running well off the outfield. So I think 92 for 6 at this stage, Vipers will be happy with.
Certainly will. And just to repeat, the first day of the Men's County Championship second phase taking place today. Derbyshire in Division 3 taking on Middlesex. 173 for 5, live commentary of that one via the BBC Sport website. And Hampshire, who of course the Vipers very much under that umbrella, taking on Yorkshire. And Yorkshire, I'm sure the score would have moved on actually a little bit. I'll have to check that, because I'm sure that score was like that a little while ago, so I'll come back to that moment. Lauren Bell's back on. That ball doesn't swing in, it just holds its line outside the off stump. Claridge reaches for it. It goes out square on the offside. And there is no run. I think actually the score I've got is a little bit behind, so I'm just going to double check that. Maybe my computer has got stuck. I'll probably check all the scores actually, in terms of what Derbyshire are doing. Well, it is 110 for 3 Yorkshire. Maybe there's some bad light or something going on there, as that's pulled away by Claridge. Not timed, but he goes out square on the leg side. Paige Schofield now doing the deep square leg duties. Double check. There might be some bad light down on the south coast. It's certainly overcast here, but nothing too threatening. 93 for 6 then, the Lightning. There's Bell comes in and bowls to Kirsty Gordon. And length ball. Gordon just gives herself a little bit of room, cuts that into the floor, fielded by Charlotte Taylor on the 45. So down at the Aegeus Bowl. Oh, he's 110 for 3. My word, it's just slow going. They're into the 60th over there. God, I tell you what, I'm glad I'm here. God, that looks hard work. Commentating on that one. Thank goodness I'm here. That was worth the 3 hour and a bit hour journey up, Gemma. To be here, where at least we can see some runs scored and a bit of action. 94 for 6, Bell comes in again. It's a slower ball and it's driven by Claridge out to deep extra cover where Emily Windsor fields away to our left. Throws that into Carla Rudd at the far end. Claridge moves on to 13, 95 for 6 here. A lot of shouting going on about the field. There's currently 3 Vipers fielders out on the leg side, patrolling the boundary. It's now in fact, it's still 3, but we've now got a mid-wicket to Gordon. That's a good move, because I think Gordon was looking for that gap on the leg side, just pushing it for ones. She gets wrapped on the pad there as she tries to work there on the leg side, but misses. I think that's a good move, because I think, Kirsty Gordon is quite clever. She knows that she can keep pushing singles in there, and there's a single on all day, but I think that's a good move from Georgia Adams to just plug that gap somewhat.
It is a good move, and on Wednesday they actually had that same field. They had 4 on the rope on the leg side with no one saving a single when Marie Kelly was on about 80 and new batters at the other, and I didn't quite get that tactic, but they did it again on Saturday.
Yeah. Bell bowls, it's on the pad, past the diving Carla Rudd, and that could go for 4 leg byes, and it does. It goes quickly to the city end of the ground, and it's off the bat. 4 signalled by Sue Redfern, umpire at this near end. Just a hint of a bat there as that quickly went past the diving Carla Rudd. You're right, and I think that's probably something that Charlotte Edwards has had a chat with the team about as well, getting the tactics right, and talking about debriefs after game and team talks pre-match. Obviously something that was very much in the mind. Gordon moves on to 8 with that boundary, and that's 3 overs to go here.
Looks like Paige Scholefield's going to finish up her overs for the day at the far end. She's coming on for her 4th over. We've got Claridge on strike on 13. Again, Carla Rudd is up to the stumps. They're just moving the field around a little bit, so mid-wicket's a little bit straighter as Schofield comes in and bowls, and that's really full, possibly even a full toss, but it's a play and miss by Claridge. Rudd had the bails off in quick time again, but I don't think Claridge moved her feet, so there was no appeal, but just showing her quick hands again. In comes Schofield. That's a good length ball, and Claridge. Oh, was that one bounce? Sorry, I was looking at Claridge again. Claridge had a swipe down that at long on, and it was one bounce to the field on the rope there for a single. I didn't see the bounce. I looked at the batter, and then I looked at the fielder, and it was coming into her hands. And then I looked at Kev.
100 up for the Lightning.
Captain Kirsty Gordon on strike now. In comes Schofield. That's a full ball. That's the same shot. Again, it's a one bounce. I saw it that time. Landed just in front of the fielder at long on. I did think it was a muted celebration if it was a it was a catch. So that's another single. Brings Ella Claridge back on strike.
Georgia Elwes doing the work down there at deep mid on far end of the ground.
Schofield comes charging in. The ball's gone in the same area this time all the way along the ground. Another single to Georgia Elwes at long on. So Lightning just happy to tick along at the moment in this 18th over. The score is 102 for 6. So they've just crept into the 3 figures. Schofield to Gordon, and she's picked that up nicely off her legs, turned that to square, and Alice Monaghan is quickly round to pick that up, keep that also down to a single. I think the Vipers will be very happy with these singles at this stage. Yeah. They've got no issue with Lightning picking up a single every ball from here on. They just need to keep the bad balls down and keep the boundaries to a minimum. So in comes Schofield, and that's an attempted slower ball that she got quite a little bit wrong. It ended up being a full toss, but she's got away with it, as Claridge tried to pull that but didn't time it, and again it's gone down to long on. Georgia Elwes down there, and it's been called a no ball actually. Was that for height? Do you reckon?
Yeah.
It didn't look that high, I thought.
Yeah.
It would.
I know. They seem to be quite strict with these full tosses, don't they? That's something I've noticed.
Okay, so Gordon's on strike now, and she's going to face a free hit. So on a free hit, that's dragged down and pulled to leg side, and that's gone all the way.
Great shot.
There was a little interest there from the fielder. It wouldn't have been out, obviously, but she thought she was in to stop that boundary for a moment, but it's flown over her head for the first 6 of the innings.
Great shot there. That's right out of the middle of the bat.
Yeah, perfect how to play a free hit. I thought dragging one down a little bit short for a free hit was a strange option, but
not a great ball.
Not a great ball, and it's quite a big boundary out there, so that really was off the middle of the bat from Kirsty Gordon. That takes Lightning up to 1-1-1 with just 2 overs to go.
And 12 runs off that one. So that's a real bonus for Lightning, who weren't able to defend their total of 136 against the Central Sparks at New Road at the weekend. So, well, I think it's different conditions and different pitch, different ground, of course, but I think if they can get somewhere near 130, I mean, they'll still have to go some, but that will give them a little bit of confidence. But these two certainly put back to ball. Ella Claridge does, and has done so far, as she hits that hard up towards deep mid-on. Start of a new over from Georgia Elwis. Claridge picks up a single. Moves on to 17. Another partnership developing here. 131, 33 these two have put on, with 11 balls left of their innings. Still overcast here, but the clouds are high. As Elwis bowls, low full toss, and that's flicked away, and it's going to fall just short, and he goes for 4. Tara Norris came in, just got committed too much, and in the end the ball bounced just under her body, really, and goes away for 4.
Yeah, they're horrible ones as fielders, because if you go for it like Tara did then, and like you say, overcommit and miss it, it goes for 4. If you don't go for it, people are saying, you know, why didn't you go for it? So they're tough ones for fielders.
Kirsty Gordon is playing a nice little cameo here. She's already on 20, 116 for 6 in the 19th. As Elwis with a right arm medium paces comes in again. Lengths ball, it's hit in the air, should be caught at mid-off, or extra cover even. Caught, simple catch. Georgia Adams, simple catch for her running in from extra cover. And Gordon's little cameo has ended. She makes 20 as she makes her way off. And the Lightning now are 116 for 7. So a second wicket there for Georgia Elwis. Rather a tame dismissal there for Gordon. She just got underneath that really with a cross bat.
Yeah, she just sort of premeditated swing at the ball, and it might have been a slightly slower ball from Elwis, and she was through the shot and just popped up to Georgia Adams at extra cover. She'll be happy to have taken that catch after dropping a fairly straightforward one earlier in the innings. It's always nice to follow that up with a catch.
Just to repeat that news from earlier, the South East Stars winning their game. They are through in this group as group leaders and have sufficient points to take them through to the final on finals day. It's whether the Vipers can get through to finals day or, well, as the best placed second place team, because of course whoever wins Group B will go through. So Elwis barring into Sophie Munro, tries to swing that away on the onside. In fact, it's Ella Claridge, the batters have crossed. They've done that a few times actually in this innings. Sophie Munro's at the non-striker's end. Claridge trying to work that away on the onside, gets a bottom edge onto the pad, and there's no run.
Northern Diamonds, who currently sit 1 point behind top of the table Western Storm, they've restricted Thunder to 90 for 9 off their 20 overs.
Ooh. Elwis bowls, Claridge works that away on the onside, all along the ground. Monaghan comes in from the boundary, 117 for 7.
So they're going to be putting a bit of pressure on Western Storm now, because if they chase 90 down in fewer than 16.2 overs, which sounds very gettable, they'll pick up the bonus point, and that will mean that Western Storm will also have to win with the bonus point to finish top. So good little battle going on there in the other group.
Sure, they're all looking over their shoulders at each other. That's a full delivery, which somehow off the bottom of the bat has been worked down towards fine leg, and that's going to go all the way. Sophie Munro off the mark. It's a good ball there initially from Elwis, but somehow Munro's found an angle, very fine, at the far end of the ground, and that's a boundary to end Elvis's over. And in fact, that will be the end of her spell, I think. 3-4-23, good spell from her. I mentioned earlier, 2 wickets. Yeah, she got 3 wickets in the end. Apologies. Is that right?
And,
I've only got her down for 2 wickets. I must have missed one somewhere.
Vipers just using the 5 bowlers today, so Tara Norris is going to complete her spell and complete the innings as she comes on at the City end. She's gone back to bowling over the wicket. She did have a little time bowling round the wicket earlier, which got her a stumping, but she's going to go over the wicket for now. As she comes in, bowls to Claridge, who's had a big swing. That's gone in the air, but it's going to land safe, straight down the ground, and one bounce back into the keeper. So a single brings Munro on strike.
It's been last couple of overs have been good for the Lightning, 12 and 10.
Yeah, I was thinking 3 overs ago Vipers would be looking to keep them under 120.
Yeah.
They haven't done that, so maybe 125 now is the next target. But there's 5 balls to come. Norris is going back round the wicket now to Munro, who's fairly new at the crease. She comes charging in, and Munro gives herself a little bit of room, and she's pulled that to the leg side. Deep leg side field, as we've said, there's 4 on the rope, or 4 just inside the boundary, because it is quite a big boundary. So there's an easy single there. Field changes slightly for Claridge as fine leg comes up into the ring and cover sweeper goes out, and Norris goes back over the wicket to Claridge, who's on 19, and in comes, that's a short ball. Claridge tried to pull that, but didn't get hold of that, just sort of hit her in the pads and just dribbled in front of her for no run. So I think 3 balls left in this innings. Currently Lightning on 123.
Get to 130. I mean, they know that the Vipers' top order is nothing like what it was at the start of the season. In fact, when they last played them, Vipers shorn of their top order. This could be a challenging total.
In comes Norris charging in. Again, slightly back of the length. Ella Claridge pulls that to mid-wicket. Fielder's out there, and they don't even attempt the second. That's a good option. Paige Schofield is quick into that and throws that straight back into the hands of Tara Norris. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on Adams and Elvis as the sort of senior top order batters, because, like we say, there is some batting in that lineup, but a lot of them haven't had much time in the middle this summer. So it's going to pose a little bit of pressure, this total, on the Vipers. In comes Norris, and Munro's had a swing at that. That could be out, and that is out. It's another catch for Alice Monaghan out in the deep. She's had a swing at that. It's a penultimate ball of the innings, so that's pretty much the right thing to do, but she finds the very safe hands of Alice Monaghan. Is that 3 catches for her today?
It's, I think it is. Yes, it is, yes.
Yeah, she looks in absolutely no trouble at all taking those catches. So that ends Sophie Munro's innings on 5. And I believe there's just 1 ball left in this innings. I'm assuming they crossed. It was a big hit out to square leg, and it went very high as well. So I'm sure Claridge would have got herself down the other end to be on strike.
That's the right option for the Lightning.
Yeah.
I think this will be Grace Ballinger coming in. It's either Grace Ballinger or Yvonne Graves. My money would be on Grace Ballinger. I think it is. Yes, it is.
It is. And she will be at the non-striker's end as Ella Claridge faces this final delivery. Lightning currently on 124 for 8. In comes Norris, and that's middle stump is out of the ground. So Ella Claridge had a really good knock, 20 for her, but she was bowled by Tara Norris off the final ball of the innings, which leaves Lightning on 124 for 9, setting Vipers 125 to win and place in the eliminator on finals day of this Charlotte Edwards Cup.
Well, she'll want to play another game, Tara Norris, because she's on a hat-trick. First ball of the next game. So from a Vipers point of view, of course, they'll be hoping very much to be the case, to play in that finals day next weekend at the Ageas Bowl. So 124 for 9. Chief run scorers for Lightning, Abby Freeborn with 27 off 29 coming in at number 3. Teresa Graves with 23 off 27. And Ella Claridge at the end. A quick fire 20 from her, and also Kirsty Gordon, who was out in the previous over in the 19th. Also a quick fire 20 from her. Ella Claridge 20 off 23 balls. Kirsty Gordon made 20 off 13. So 124 for 9 the Lightning. The wicket takers for the Vipers. In fact, everybody picked up a wicket apart from Paige Schofield. Lauren Bell, 4 overs, 2 for 26. Tara Norris, 4 overs, 3 for 26 on a hat-trick in the next game. You might have to wait till next year for that one. Charlotte Taylor, 1 for 18 from 4. Paige Schofield, 9 for 27 from her 4. Georgia Elwes, 4 overs, 3 for 23. The best figures of the Vipers bowlers. As we mentioned, the Vipers shorn of their top order. No Danny Wyatt. There's no Maya Boucher and no Charlie Dean. So they are very much have gone from a solid-looking top order to one that's a little bit unknown. And as Gemma says, a lot resting on Georgia Adams and Georgia Elwes in that top 3. We'll take a little bit of a break then, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes' time when the Vipers begin their reply and their quest to score 125, not only to win this game, but get into next week's finals. And if they do, they will claim their place in next week's T20 finals day, which is on the south coast at the Ageas Bowl. So 125 needed by the Vipers. It has to be said, both these teams are in great form, apart from the Lightning not having won a game. The Vipers have lost their last 2, and that's why they find themselves in this situation where they need to win. Otherwise, unless an improbable set of results unfold, they won't be going through. I'm Kevin James, and next to me, former Hampshire Women's player Gemma Green, and we'll take you through proceedings through to the very end. This could be very exciting here, Gemma, as the first delivery is being bowled by Sophie Munro. Right arm over, it's very wide indeed, past a diving Abby Freeborn behind the stumps. The ball doesn't quite make it all the way to the rope, and that's not a great delivery first up.
Not for Lightning, but it's a bit of a gift to the Vipers, so they'll start the innings on 3 as the innings starts again, because that was a wide ball. So in terms of 6 legal deliveries still to come, the Vipers are on 3 for naught.
Yeah, certainly are. So it's Georgia Adams who's facing Tara Norris, is at the non-striker's end. Adams the right-hander, Tara Norris the left-hander. That's played out on the offside, fielded by Grace Ballinger. The Vipers have gone for an opening pair, the same as the game against the South East Stars at the weekend, and I'm not sure it really worked, if I'm honest, because Tara Norris bats further down the order. Neither made too many. Yeah,
it's not as if we've seen Tara Norris sort of score runs down the order, because the lower order...
Munro bowls. There's a nice drive from Adams straight towards extra cover. Not picked up cleanly by Beth Harmer, but she does enough to keep it down to no run.
Yeah, the lower order don't get much of a look in this Viper side, or haven't done certainly in the last 2 years. So it's obviously something that's known in the dressing room, of her ability to with the bat maybe, but it's not something that we've seen out in the middle yet. It's like you say, it didn't come off on Saturday, but maybe today we'll see a different side.
Sophie Munro there runs right from us, then bowls again, and that's a nice drive, and she found the gut. No, what a great bit of fielding there in the covers by Grace Ballinger. Super stop there, diving low to her right. Gets a little handoff there from Beth Harmer. Extra cover, good stop that. I thought that had gone through. I thought he had enough legs. Another foot either side of Ballinger and it would have gone. Oh, there's nice something anyway. Big loud bang there. Somewhere around now. As she found the gap again, it's gone straight to Ballinger. Oh gosh. There's some loud cracks of something around. A few more. Fortunately, it's not that close, but we can certainly hear them. There is some fields behind us. I don't know if they're trying to clear something off the fields, but anyway. Munro bowls to Georgia Adams again, and Adams drives, and it's half fielded by the bowler. Takes the sting out of it. Georgia Adams wants a single, but backing up behind the bowler is Sonia Adedra. I think I have to say they've done well so far, haven't they?
They have, and there's a really tight ring on that offside now. There's 5 from just backward of point to mid-off. There's 5 in the ring, and they're all walking in with the bowler, so that will be in the batsman's eye line. See that there's not really a gap through the offside.
There's a real ring of fielders there away to our left. It's on the line of leg stump, and she flicks that away. There's no fine leg, and that'll be 4. Just altered her line there a bit, Sophie Munro. Didn't need to. And Georgia Adams has picked up 1 boundary in this over where it could have so easily been 3 or 4. 7 without loss, 1 over gone. The Vipers needing 125.
Yeah, the 3 wides at the start, and that ball down the leg side was just a little bit of a gift to the Vipers in an otherwise excellent over. Like you say, the offside field there just wasn't an option, wasn't a scoring option through there, especially with Grace Ballinger fielding very well there at extra cover, stopping 2 balls that would have definitely gone all the way had she not got a good hand on them. Speaking of which, she's coming into bowl now, so she's going to be opening up at the City end.
Yeah, it's a good fielding from the Lightning. So Grace Ballinger, who...
So they're also opening up with a bit of left arm, like Vipers did with Norris.
3 wickets in this competition for Grace Ballinger, who's only actually playing her 4th game today.
She's got the left arm of Grace Ballinger to the left hand of Tara Norris. She comes running in, and that's a full ball. Norris just pushes back to the bowler for no run.
Ponytail bobbing from side to side as she's running in.
She charges in, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. She does. Races in there. Keep her standing up though, but even so. Just 19 years old, Grace Ballinger. In fact, 2 teenagers opening the bowling here. Munro, 19 years at our commentary end, and Ballinger at the other end.
She charges in once again, and another full ball. It's just wrapped Tara Norris on the pads and just dribbled to the leg side for no run. See, I don't know what sort of role Tara Norris is in for, whether it's to play a sort of opening supporting role or to go large. I'm not sure, we didn't see on Saturday because she was out fairly early, so it'll be interesting to see if she does stay there,
yeah, I agree.
what role she's actually been asked to do. As Ballinger comes in over the wicket, that one's pitched just outside off, and Tara Norris has pushed that to the offside for no run. So that's 3 dot balls to start Grace Ballinger's inning over.
Yeah, it's an interesting move, isn't it? You know, no Danny White at the top of the order is definitely a big miss. But then Boucher and Charlie Dean, you know, they're both in the England squad. It really is. It's an interesting move, bringing Tara Norris up the order.
And that's a full ball. It's called a no ball. Tara Norris has just worked that on the leg side for a single off the bat, but it's also been called a no ball by umpire Sue Redfern. I assume that's for overstepping. Didn't look anything else wrong with the delivery.
No, definitely front
yeah,
foot.
She's showing her now.
Yeah.
Showing her where her foot landed.
Bit of sunshine for a change.
So,
Gemma.
yeah, it's been a bit cloudy. We've got the sun breaking through now. And Georgia Adams is facing her first ball from this end, which will be a free hit. The fielder's obviously allowed to change the field because the batsman changed ends. And it's a right-hander on strike now, so there's a bit of manoeuvring in the Lightning field as they are bringing up what would be square leg for the right-hander for Georgia Adams. So there's free hit in the power play, and the 2 fielders they've got out are long on and deep mid-wicket. As Ballinger's coming in round the wicket to Georgia Adams, and she's bowled that well. Georgia Adams actually came down the wicket, yorked herself a little bit, managed to push it down to long on for a single. So they got away with that free hit, just the single coming off it.
Good full delivery.
And the field changes back for the left hand of Tara Norris. That ball's just back for length, and Tara Norris tried to pull that to leg side. She didn't time that well at all, and it just bounced in front of mid-on, who had a shot at the stumps and actually hit the stumps at Georgia Adams' end, but Georgia Adams obviously in her ground. So no run there, and the ball's backed up well. So just a dot ball after all that.
Dedra with a throw. That could have ricocheted anywhere.
And in comes Ballinger again, charging up. That's a full ball, almost Yorker length, and Norris just pushes that out to point for a dot ball to complete the over. The score, that was good over, the score is 10-0 off 2.
Well, we've mentioned the 2 umpires today. It's worth mentioning the match referee, the former Derbyshire and England fast bowler, Devon Malcolm. Was a bit of a hero in his time here, and when he played at England. Saw him bowl actually at the weekend on Saturday morning, played for a Lashings 11 down at the Ageas Bowl against a Hampshire Legends 11. And he still gets that hand nice and high. As I reminded him when we saw him in the car park, I haven't seen him for a few years, Devon Malcolm. He's just a few boxes along to our left, looking over proceedings today. In fact, you said, Jimmy, you saw him a little while ago down at the Ageas. Oh, no, he was doing Saturday's game, the Vipers game as well, wasn't he?
He did, after bowling in the morning, he was match ref in the afternoon for the Vipers game.
He says he's still feeling stiff after that game at the weekend. Here's Sophie Munro again to bowl her second over. Oh, that's way down the leg side. Keeper misses it, that's going to be 4. Horrible, horrible take for Abby Freeborn to have to attempt. And no surprises that's 4 wides. Vipers being helped along here. 125, remember, is the target, so they need 110. We're in the 3rd over, and a Vipers victory here will confirm their place in next week's finals day. Jim has been updating us with the tables and how the other teams are getting on. That's a nice drive from Adams. He can't pierce that field on the offside. There is actually now a gap through the covers because Lucy Hyam has been pushed back on the boundary rope, so that ring of fielders on the offside has been reduced by 1. I think actually because Georgia Adams was pummeling the fielders on the offside earlier, they probably think, well, that probably won't happen again, so we'll just give ourselves some insurance and put one out on the boundary. That's on the line of leg stump. Whipped away by Georgia Adams, and that could be 4. I don't think Pye's going to get there. She dives in vain. Munro just guilty. A little bit of Lauren Bell, actually, in the Vipers innings, of just straying on that leg side a little bit too much. 19 without loss. Adams has 9.
So Northern Diamonds have made a really good start of their chase of 91. They're 35 for naught off 4.4. Again, if they get that target inside 16.2 overs, they will pick up the crucial bonus point that they would need.
I think the bonus point is the thing that's going to separate those teams in Group B. There's a nice shot from Adams, who hits the sweeper away to our left through the covers. Adams moves into double figures. 20 without loss here. The Vipers need 105. Yeah, do you think the bonus point is going to be the difference? Do you think between those 3?
Certainly, in if Vipers lose this game, I think Western Storm and Northern Diamonds both could go through. If Vipers win this, it could come down to the bonus point between the game that Diamonds are playing and the game that Storm are playing.
And who finishes top?
Storm are 1 point above at the minute.
Yeah. Round the wicket, Munro to the left-hander Norris, who cuts it away in the air. Pye! Oh, it's gone through her hands. She's just palmed that away. It was above her head, though, so quite difficult, but she got both hands there. And it's just slipped through the palm, and it's gone for a couple. Norris a little bit lucky. Norris moves on to 3. 22 without loss.
I don't know a lot about Pye, but you often put your strongest fielder in one-day cricket at point, so I'd imagine she's there for that reason, so she might be disappointed with that drop, but it was a tough chance.
It was. Munro bowls to Norris again on the line of leg stump. It's flicked off the pad, and again it's a wayward line delivery. That's going for 4. That'll be 4 leg byes. Norris trying to flick that away, misses it with the bat. It's flicked the pad, and that's another boundary off the bowling of Sophie Munro. Won't count against her bowling analysis, but it's still 4 precious runs for the Vipers as they chase this victory. Haven't won in their last 3 matches. 26 without loss, 99 needed. Sunshine still out just here at the Incora County Ground. And there's still plenty of cloud to go with it. That's short outside the stump. It's going to be a wide, surely. No, says the umpire. And Tara Norris is just pointing out that maybe she thought it was a wide. Although she didn't actually move her feet. She didn't actually move out there, did she? She was trying to play it from her standing position. 26 without loss, 3 gone. 16 off it.
Yeah, good over for the Vipers. The Vipers do have the luxury, if you call it that, of not having to worry about the bonus point. A win is all they need to get them through. It's not like they've got to get it in a certain amount of overs like Hampshire did to qualify for the quarterfinals of the Vitality Blast when they had to chase 180 in 13 overs or something ridiculous, and they pulled it off. So the Vipers today have got the full 20 overs should they need them to chase this score down. They don't need to be concerning or complicating anything with the thought of that bonus point.
Yeah, because 4 points here will take them on to 19, and Western Storm wouldn't be able to make 19, who currently lead the Group B, so it'll be enough. Oh, I think that's an edge behind. I think she's dropped it. She had a few goes. New over.
Yep, sorry, that's Grace Ballinger coming in from the top end. I was indulged in the tables. So Grace Ballinger come in, keepers up. There was an edge there, I think,
that
hit the gloves and popped up. They're never easy stood up. There's no easy catch for a keeper stood up, but that came off her gloves and sort of flicked over her head. Georgia Adams is the batter on strike, as in comes Ballinger again. That's a full ball. That's a play and a miss. The keeper, Abby Freeborn, takes that one cleanly. Georgia Adams trying to drive that one through the cover. There's still a really strong ring on the cover, but no fielder out there So if she is able to pierce that field on the offside, it's almost a guaranteed 4 runs. So she's charged in again, Ballinger. Almost carbon copy that. Georgia Adams tried to drive that quite a full ball outside off stump. It's gone straight into the gloves of keeper Freeborn. Another dot ball.
It's quite interesting, isn't it, really? She didn't have any trouble driving Sophie Munro in the first over, but find the fielders. Here she's having trouble trying to drive Ballinger on the offside. Just a different angle,
Different
left
angle
arm
coming
over.
across her, yeah.
She's having a few problems with that.
She's running in from quite wide as well. Grace Ballinger comes in, another full ball. She has driven that, she's got hold of that one nicely, and that's driven through backward point all the way to the rope for 4.
Well, she had to connect with one of them. She's certainly been given the chance to drive. The balls are all outside off stump. Probably just needs to bowl a slightly tighter line, Grace Ballinger.
Tighter line and maybe length as well. That they all look drivable length, even though Adams missed the first few.
.30 without loss.
Ballinger bustling in. That is a better line. That's tighter, sort of off-stump line coming across the batter, and Georgia Adams can do nothing but push that to extra cover for a dot ball. So 5 balls gone in this over, and it's just the one scoring shot that went for 4 backward of point. 1 ball to come in this over. Georgia Adams taps the bat down as Ballinger comes in, bowls. That one is on leg stump. There was a minute appeal for LB. It's just come off the pads, I think, of Georgia Adams. No, bit of bat again. So just a run that she's just pushed onto the leg side for a single to take the strike at the beginning of the next over. The score is 31 for no loss off 4.
And after 4 overs, Lightning had 26. They got away to a decent start, actually did Lightning. It's just a few more overs into their innings, and they were starting to lose wickets on a regular basis. Georgia Adams has not had a bad competition. The top score of 88 not out was down at Hove. Gemma was there in their loss against the Central Sparks. She got a half century against the South East Stars. 37 against Lightning down at Arundel in the first match between these two in this competition. Either side of that, a couple of single-figure scores. Change of bowling. Kirsty Gordon with a slow left arm. Spinners taking over from Sophie Munro. So 94 needed by the Vipers. And Adams on 15, and Tara Norris, I guess a makeshift opener with the Vipers having been shorn of their top order because of England call-ups. Changing their order around. Norris usually comes in around sort of 8, doesn't she, really, on a normal Vipers when they're at full strength. But you think that lower down the order there's the likes of Alice Monaghan, Ella Chandler, the way she played at the weekend, you would have thought perhaps. But who am I to question Charlotte Edwards? Who wouldn't dare? She's over the wicket, Kirsty Gordon. Adams drives, finds the gap between the bowler and mid-wicket. And it goes down to Sonia Adedra at deepish mid-on. 32 without loss. The sun is still out, and now we're seeing a little bit more blue sky away to our right, which is very welcome indeed. The sun's been out for a little while. Actually getting warm in the commentary box for a change.
It is. I've taken my jumper off.
Yeah.
Got my sunglasses out. Ready.
32 without loss. Left-hander Tara Norris to face Kirsty Gordon. Norris just pushes that out on the offside. Very run. Nice, good length ball there from Gordon. Just bring you up to date with those other games going on in the county championship that affect, well, that sort of relate to these two teams, Derbyshire and Hampshire. Of course, come to that during this over as Norris is on the back foot and pulls that away. 1 bounce to mid-on. The throw comes in at mid-on. Norris has to hurry. Fielding Sophie Munro there. Slightly in the air. 1 bounce to the fielder. Good throw, but misses the stumps. 33 without loss. The Hampshire-Yorkshire game at the Ageas Bowl is absolutely crawling along. This is Division 1 of the County Championship. It's a different look to the County Championship in the men's competition this year as Adams drives back to a diving Kirsty Gordon. Only 6 teams can play for the county championship here. Hampshire and Yorkshire are 2 of them, and they're playing as though their lives depended on it, because Yorkshire at this stage on day 1 are only 128 for 4. Very, very slow going indeed. I thought earlier there was some bad light. That's down the leg side, that's wide. Adams missing the sweep shot, but well taken by Freeborn. They are. It's you would have thought that winning the county championship between those two is a matter of life and death. That's how slow things are going down there. I'm back for the next 3 days for that. That's going to be fun. Hope there's a bit more action there after today. It's pulled away in the air. She's going to be caught deep mid-wicket. Gone. Oh, Georgia Adams bangs the bat on the floor there. She's really, really disappointed with that. I think in the end it was quite a short ball from Kirsty Gordon. I think she thought, do you know what, I'm going big on this. And she went aerial and she just didn't get enough height. And that's a good catch at deep mid-wicket. I didn't quite see who that was there. Adedra? I'm taking a guess though.
It's not Adedra.
No, Adams goes for 16, 34 for 1.
It might be a sub-fielder.
That's probably what done me.
I'm just looking at the number. I thought it said 48. And we haven't got a 48.
Right, so we'll get that confirmed in a moment. That'll go on our score sheet here. But Georgia Adams has gone for 16. Kirsty Gordon with the first blow for Lightning. And that is a blow when you're looking at Georgia Adams and Georgia Elwis. And, well, Paige Schofield hasn't really got going in this competition yet. She's a good player. But Vipers have relied on her runs in the past. But it's important that Adams got a few, and she hasn't today.
It's Nancy Harmon that took the catch, so she's on the field at the minute as the sub.
Thanks very much, Gemma. Now, Tara Norris drives, gets a thick outside edge as it goes to backward of point, and there is no run. The new batter for the Vipers is Georgia Elwis. Made runs at the weekend. They relied on her. Well, they rely on her now with players out of the side. She made 45 off just 33 deliveries against the Stars, but it wasn't enough. They needed more from her.
It looks like we're having a change at the City end. I think Sonia Odedra is coming in into the attack. She's also just doing her hair, tying it up, making sure it's not in her face as she runs into bowl.
It's a real feature, isn't it, of women's cricket? Got to get the hair right before you come into bowl. Sonia Odedra with the right arm medium paces.
We've got Georgia Elwis on strike, keeper Freeborn up to the stumps as Adedra comes in, past the umpire bowls, and that's a straight ball that Georgia Elwis just pushes into the offside for no run. Good start for Sonia Odedra.
Certainly is, yeah. Picked up 6 wickets in this competition so far. That's the equal most for the Lightning, alongside Sophie Munro, who's also picked up 6.
And she comes again, same ball, nice and straight, good length, and nothing that Georgia Elwis can do with that other than push it back for a dot ball. Last over of the power play, so last over of the fielding restrictions, where they can only have 2 out. She comes in again over the wicket. Elwis has just turned that onto leg side for a single.
Slightly straighter that time from Odedra. It looks like the, in terms of runs, the power play is going to be very similar between the two sides. But, Lightning had lost 3 wickets in that first 6 overs.
In comes Odedra from the City, and that's a fuller ball. Tara Norris has had a drive at that, but she's completely missed it, and it's beat the keeper as well, and it's gone away for 4 byes.
I don't think that bounced very much out of the footholds. I think poor old Abby Freeborn didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, it kept low, went through the legs.
Yeah, it did.
So she has stood up to the stumps. So more extras for Vipers, which is helping them along at the minute.
It certainly is, isn't it?
comes a Dedra. That one, Tara Norris just pushes that into the offside. It's picked up and quickly thrown in by Lucy Hyam, but there's no run attempted there.
So out of the 39, 16, 17, 21 have been scored off the bat. Certainly being helped with the extras.
Tara Norris on strike. That one's thrown outside off stump and pitched up. Half volley that Norris drives, but only to the hands of the subfield and Nancy Harmon. They do get through for a single. She timed that quite well, but the fielding was good and kept that down to a single. That completes the power play, and Vipers are 40 for 1, chasing 125 for victory and a place in finals day.
That's right, yeah. 36 for 3, Lightning after the power play in their innings. So not a lot in it. A couple of wickets does make a bit of a difference when you lose 3 wickets in that power play. It does make things very difficult, but even so, the number of runs, there is not too much difference between the two sides. Look at the worm if you're watching on the live picture feed. Vipers just so Kirsty Gordon, left arm spin from our commentary end, the racecourse end. Bowls, and Norris is on the back foot and works that up towards deep mid on. And that is fielded by Sophie Munro. Racecourse end, Gemma? Why do you think it's called the racecourse end?
You told me it used to be a racecourse.
Years ago.
Is that the actual ground was a racecourse?
Do you know what? I should know that because I've been here so many times. I've been told the story. But when I first came here, many moons ago, to our left, where there's now a newer pavilion, there used to be the grandstand of what was the finishing line of the racecourse. Yeah, so it's quite a big old building. It really was. As it always pushes that ball square on the leg side where there's a gap, 42 for 1. So, yeah, there was a sort of a big sort of terracing area going towards the ground, and then this big sort of grandstand at the back with this sort of, it had a sort of a round tower bit at the back. Somebody did tell me what that was for, and I can't remember. But yeah, very different than what it is now. That's cut by Norris on the back foot. She wants a single, sent back by Elwes.
So was there, did the racecourse move, or is it just gone?
I think in the end it might have moved, and I don't know the locality, but certainly it went, yeah. And I should imagine, a lot of the fields that are behind us would have been done with the racecourse, yeah. Norris goes for a swing shot, gets wrapped on the pad. Big shout from Gordon. I think that's going down. So does umpire Sue Redfern. I'm not trying to do a job for her, but this is what I thought. 42 for 1 then. Norris is on 6 here. As Gordon comes in again, and Norris works that away, but only as far as mid-wicket. Stuff here from Gordon. Only 2 runs off this over so far.
I guess it wouldn't have been called the racecourse end when you played here. You told me the strip was 90 degrees
That's
the
right.
other way.
Yeah, it was, 90-degree angle. As Norris works her way on the onside. Now, she split the field, but not hard enough to go for a boundary. Oh, they wanted 2, but that's really good fielding from Lucy Hyam. Very quick there from mid-wicket. Looked, or kept, what looked to be in a 2, down to 1. 7 overs gone, 43 for 1, just 3 runs off it. That's right, yeah, I forget what year they turned the square around, but yeah, very much, it was a little bit more sort of up-downhill here. There's not much of a hill, but yeah, we're watching wicket to wicket, but if we were at this angle, we'd have been watching the game side on.
Do you remember there being an issue with sun in your eyes?
I don't, but there was a big issue here, wasn't there, one game?
You didn't suffer with it yourself?
I don't remember it. I don't remember playing here and the sun being a particular problem. I mean, it might have been a little bit of an issue, but there was one well-known game here, wasn't there, that got either delayed or stopped or something because of the sun, and that may have been a reason to change the wicket around. But I think the ground looks better. Like
you never got to blame a drop catch on it or anything.
I blame it on a lot of things, Jim. I'll blame it on anything I can.
We've got Yvonne Graves coming into the attack for the first time from the city end.
A bit of off breaks.
So it's just the one over. Off from a Dedra.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of off break coming round the wicket to the left-hander. And that's she slid that down leg side, and Tara Norris has swept that well down fine leg for 4 runs. A bit of a gift of a ball first up, just sliding down leg side. But Tara Norris made no mistake and put that away.
I think she needed that, you know. 20 balls for her 7 up until then. I think she just needed that. I think to steady her sort of nerve, well, not nerves, but, you know, just to steady herself a little bit, and also give, you know, the rest of the Vipers team a little bit more confidence.
In comes Graves. Oh, that's gone through the hands of Captain Kirsty Gordon, who's at short mid-wicket. It was a slightly shorter ball, and Tara Norris tried to pull that. Well, she did pull that to the just above the captain, who it burst through her hands and went to the leg side for a single. So a bit of a let-off there for Tara Norris. She didn't time that well at all. But it does bring Georgia Elvis on strike. And Graves is going over the wicket to the right-hander. She comes in, and that's a much better line and length. Georgia Elvis has pushed that back. It went through the legs of the bowler, so a little bit of a misfield there allows them to come through for a single. But it was a better ball from the bowler Graves.
2007 was that famous game that resulted in play being stopped because of the sun.
Is that recent? Round the wicket, Tara Norris has got better hold of that. It'll still only be a single though, as there's a fielder out there in the deep on the square, on the leg side. So that's another single in this over.
Actually, it might have been when the wicket was like this. I'll come back to that.
Graves to Elvis, just pushes that into the covers for a dot ball.
Oh no, because the city end could still be to our right as well as in front of us. So apologies, yeah.
In comes Graves, that's a fuller ball on the legs of Elvis, and she's just turned that to the leg side for a single, and that completes the 8th over. And the score is 51 for 1 as they chase 125.
Better over for the Vipers, 8 runs off it. Yeah, 2007, it was a floodlit 50 over game between Derbyshire and Yorkshire, and it was stopped for 55 minutes after the Derbyshire batsmen complained they could not see the ball when the bowling was from the city end. Play resumed at 8:30 with the hosts bowled out for 195. Yorkshire had made 253 for 4 in that game. So, yeah, that was quite a famous situation. And the Derbyshire Square, it was announced that the Derbyshire Square to be moved 90 degrees back in 2009.
It's amazing that it's so recent, because obviously the sun's always been in the same position.
Yeah. Incredible, isn't it? I know. So there you go. So we've got from our commentary end, Teresa Graves, the racecourse end, with the Vipers 51 for 1, needing another 74. And they'll need to win this game to get through to finals day next week. And Lightning will want to win this game to finish this competition with a win. No wins so far in 5 for the home side here. So Graves with her medium paces, bowls, that's pulled away hard by Elvis, but finds the fielder out at deep square leg. Is that our substitute fielder?
It is.
Nancy Harman.
Not worked out who she's on for yet.
Sarchi Pies out there. I thought maybe they're going through her fingers. She might have got an injury, but not.
I haven't seen Harmer.
Oh, right, you could be right. Beth Harmer may be off the field. Sunshine's still out here at Derby, which is welcome. 52 for 1. Norris back on strike. She's on 13, the left-hander. Comes in again, and that's worked away. Full delivery through mid-wicket, past the diving fielder, and it is going to be Hyam on the boundary at deep mid-wicket. She's been doing a good job away to our left. That's 2 runs to Morris. Sorry, Norris, who moves on to 15 now. 54 for 1, the Vipers, 71 needed. Gemma's desperate for Vipers to win because she's been employed next Sunday at Vipers, next weekend in the finals day. Now there's a nice shot again from Norris. It's a little bit closer this time to Hyam, and they'll settle for a single. Hyam picks it up cleanly at deep mid-wicket, does well.
As you said, if they'd got straight through, I would have had the morning off.
Yes.
But they're going to be playing in the first game in the Eliminator and hopefully the second game if they win today.
Yeah. So double the work for Gemma on the horizon. A little bit more work to do yet for the Vipers, as Elwes just tucks that away behind square on the offside. Quite deliberate. She thinks about 2 as fielder recovers well. 56 for 1, the Vipers in the 9th. Remember, they're chasing 125 for victory. We got a tweet earlier on, actually, which I forgot to mention. Emma Bain said that she was enjoying the commentary. At Southern Sport, if you want to get involved, or southerncricket@gmail.com. We'll give it out too many times. Now that's hit away on the onside. She's going to get away with this, is Tara Norris. Just helped it. That's a beautiful sandwich. There's a few pro golfers would have enjoyed that. That's gone high and probably only gone about 10 yards away behind square on the leg side. You've done well. Just stop dead the ball on the outfield. Norris moves on to 17, 57 for 1. As Teresa Graves comes in again. Bowls, nice drive from Elwes, but finds extra cover. And there is no run. End of the over. So we've had 9 overs here at the Incora County Ground. As the sun disappears, 57 for 1, the Vipers 6 runs off it.
Northern Diamonds are all but over the line in their game against the Thunder. They need just 5 runs for victory. They are chasing 90. They're currently 86 for 2 in the 12th over. So they're very, very likely to pick up that bonus point, which will mean Western Storm will need to do the same to finish top. If Western Storm win without a bonus point, I think Diamonds have got the superior run rate. So Storm are very much going to be put under pressure to win their game with a bonus point as well. As in comes Yvonne Graves, bowling to the left hand of Norris, who just pushes out on the offside for no run. There's almost an overthrow there, a bit of lazy fielding by the bowler, but they decide against it in the end as the captain covers that with backing up in the field. In comes Yvonne. There's a reverse sweep attempt, and that is bowled. I thought they were appealing for LB at start. We've got the keeper in front of us, but the first reverse sweep attempt we've seen of the game, and Tara Norris has been bowled for 17. So again, I'm still quite not sure what her role was coming in as an opener.
No, I'm not convinced, I have to say, but...
Is it just to sort of extend the batting lineup? That's
could well
sometimes an idea, isn't it, that the teams come up with when they're sort of struggling in the top order. Just extend that middle order, extend that lower order a little bit. But the score is currently 57 for 2. We've got Paige Schofield coming into the crease now to join Elwes.
Well, Paige Schofield is normally a mainstay of the Vipers' batting order, but this competition hasn't been that kind to her. Top score of 12, that was down at Arundel against Lightning. And didn't bat in the first game against the Central Sparks. That was a quite convincing game for the Vipers at Edgbaston. 6 not out against the South East Stars. That was another convincing win at Beckenham. So she didn't really get much of a chance early on, but 1 against the Central Sparks at Hove, which the Vipers lost, and 3 against the Stars, which they also lost at the weekend. So she's due a score. She
is. She's also one of the players that's been hindered with some injuries as well in the last 12 months, so hasn't played as regularly as she'd probably like. She's just turned that ball into square leg with no troubles to get off the mark with her first ball though, so a single to Schofield. Puts Elwes back on strike as Yvonne Graves finishes her over. And that's a slightly back of the length ball. It kept quite low, but Elwes trusted her hand-eye coordination there and pulled that to deep backward square for a single.
Yeah, this is a good batting combination for me, this, from the Vipers.
Yvonne Graves to Paige Schofield. It's a slower ball from the spinner that is just defended into the offside for no run.
So an all-Graves attack for the Lightning?
It is. There's a couple of sets of sisters in this squad, because there's the Bryce sisters that usually play as well. and that was an attempted cut shot from Paige Schofield. Didn't time. That was probably too close to her to play that shot. It's just sort of bottom edge for no run. So the score is 59 for 2.
Well, it's very close here, Gemma, because at the halfway stage in the Lightning innings, they were 59 for 3.
I still think Vipers have got a slightly better middle order, lower order lineup than we saw from the Lightning. They had a couple of good partnerships that we saw in the first innings, but I think there's a little bit more attack to come from the Vipers. So we saw Alice Monaghan on Saturday, and I know Sophie Mitchell more well back from my club, and I know that she can play her shots. And then obviously we've got Emily Windsor to come in yet as well. So there's still some batting in the locker room.
Yeah. So we've got Lucy Hyam on at our commentary end, the racecourse end with her off breaks. Blonde hair, bowls, and outside the off stump, and that's cut away by Elvis out in the deep on the offside. And she'll come through with a single. She moves on to 8. 60 for 2 here, the Vipers needing 65 more for victory. So the Lightning searching for another wicket here and breaking up what is potentially the Vipers' strongest partnership out there in the middle at the moment. Elvis and Schofield. Schofield drives high, but it's only gone as far as extra cover, fielded by Sophie Munro. Christy Gordon is calling up a bowler for the far end. Could be Ballinger again, I think, looking at some of the hand signals as Schofield cuts that away again. It goes out in the deep in the covers, away to our left. Schofield doubles the score onto 2, 61 for 2 now. Plenty of chat out there from Lightning. You can probably hear it. It's on the line of middle stump, and Elvis just works that away to mid-wicket. Tight bowling here from Hyam in her first over. 23 years of age, Lucy Hyam. Was out first ball in the Lightning innings. Down the wicket comes Elvis, just drives past the bowler up towards deep mid-on. And in off the rope comes Sonia Odedra. 62 for 2. Schofield back on strike. She's just come back at her a fraction. She was trying to give herself some room and gets an inside edge. The ball doesn't go anywhere really. And that's 11 overs gone, 9 to do. And the Vipers only scored 3 runs off that over. They still need 63. It's a tight game at the moment.
It is a tight game. The run-wise, they're sort of being kept at bay by the Lightning, but only 2 wickets down is going to be their glimpse and their hope at the moment. That they've got wickets in hand, and the experience of Georgia Elvis currently at the crease as well. We've got Sonia Odedra coming back into the attack at the City end. So after a couple of overs of spin from Yvonne Graves, Sonia Odedra comes back in with her medium pace.
Surprised. Would you have kept Yvonne Graves on? 2 overs, 1 for 10?
Yeah, I would have. She was just getting into quite a nice rhythm there,
yeah.
But it's often a thing to do in T20, isn't it? Mix it up. Short spells, short bursts. Odedra comes in to George Elvis, who's driven that through the covers for a single. Fielder out there on the boundary is the sub-fielder Nancy Harmon, who's done well since she's come on the field. She's taken a catch and a couple of important bits of fielding to do. So Schofield on strike. She's currently on 2. That's a good ball, good line of length. She's tried to throw her hands through that to mid-off, but just finds the fielder there for a dot ball.
Well, she was accurate in her first over, wasn't she, Odedra? 1 over to just 2. Maybe it is a good time to bring her on and just try and keep things quiet. But of course, extra bit of pace. They quite like that, don't they, the batters? We'll have to wait and see.
And she comes. That's a slightly fuller ball, but it's exactly the same shot. She's just driven that to mid-off for a dot ball. Odedra a few years ago was actually in the England Academy, and then sort of didn't hear about her for a couple of years. So I'm not sure if that was an injury or lack of form, I'm not sure. She comes in past the umpire, and Schofield's tried to cut that Didn't time that brilliantly, but gets the single to extra cover in the ring.
Yeah, just to Ballinger's left hand. I thought that would be a stronger, well, it is a stronger hand actually, but it's good running between these two. They need to keep that scoreboard ticking along because they're not exactly going along strongly here, the Vipers.
Elwish pulled that slightly short, and that's going to be 4 runs through mid-wicket. Just pulled her length back a little bit, and Georgia Elwish was really quick on that. Pulled that ball in front of square on the leg side.
She's a good player. She's a good player. Didn't play for the Vipers last year. She's been injured, hasn't she? She's had some real problems, but played that Test match down at Bristol against India.
She did. Yeah, she's been in the England setup for quite a few years now.
Yeah, good player.
In comes a Dedra. That's just strained down leg side. Good take from Abby Freeborn. Sue Redfern signals a wide. So another extra to the Vipers total.
57 needed now.
It comes. Good ball, good line, good length, just outside off stump, and that's just pushed a backward point for no run. That ends the 12th over. Vipers are 69 for 2.
Apologies earlier because I said there was a couple of games going on today in the Men's County Championship. I only mentioned the Hampshire game, but so we mustn't forget that Derbyshire are also playing today. They're playing Middlesex. That's in Division 3, and that situation there is Middlesex 218 for 5. There's a delay there. There might be a little bit of rain, I guess, or a bit of bad light, but there's a delay with Middlesex 218 for 5. Live commentary of that when they do play via the BBC Sports website. 69 for 2, then 12 gone, 8 to do. Vipers still need 56. And there's an edge drive there from Schofield. It's going quickly down towards third man. I think the ball's going to beat the fielder. It does. And it's a welcome boundary here for the Vipers. Doesn't matter how it comes. Middle of the bat, edge of the bat. They'll take it. And Schofield moves on to 7. With the Vipers now 73 for 2, needing 52. It's the start of a new over from Lucy Hyam. His first over only cost 3. Bowled some accurate stuff. That wasn't a bad ball, just a little bit unlucky. Invited the drive, and there's a cut shot there from Schofield. Goes straight to point. They'll have to hurry here. Throw comes in at the bowler's end. Schofield's home. The thrower at point, Teresa Graves.
If Vipers are to win this game, Western Storm are going to need to keep Sunrisers to below 118 to ensure they get the bonus point they need to progress to finals day. Sunrisers currently 82 for 3 off 13, chasing 147.
Pushed down into the gap on the offside from Georgia Elwis. Takes her on to 15, 75 for 2. So at the moment we're looking at South East Stars, maybe the Vipers, maybe Western Storm. The 3 teams, but that could change. It's a drive there. She's found the gap past mid, extra cover, past the diving mid-off, and that's going for 4. Lovely shot there, Paige Schofield. Invited the drive there, Lucy Hyam, and Schofield obliged. Schofield moves on to 12. 79 for 2. 22 these two are put on. We are in the 13th over. Only 3 teams contesting the women's T20 finals day, unlike the men where there's 4. Hampshire one of those. All Southern Group final in the men. So that's caused a bit of debate as to was the 2 groups, which has always been ongoing, as that's turned away on the onside into the gap by Schofield. Bit of momentum here in this Vipers partnership. Yeah. Schofield moves on to 13, 80 for 2.
I heard a great comment the other day from Rich Isaacs that Kent are the most northern team left in the competition.
I love that. Good length ball, which Elwis treats with respect, plays it back to the bowler. I love it. End of the over. That is... I've lost track of the overs, actually. It is 13 overs done, yeah. And the Vipers are 80 for 2, and they need another 45. So 45 off 7, with 8 wickets in hand. 2 batters going well now. Kent, the most northerly county. I love it.
My geography's not the best. I had to check because I thought Taunton was further north, but no, it was correct.
Lucy Hyam at the far end. Oh, do we get... So it wasn't Lucy Hyam bowling, I got that wrong. Apologies, everybody. That would have been Kirsty Gordon bowling the last over. Apologies, everybody.
Lucy Hyam coming on now from the City end with her off spin. And Schofields just pushed that back to her. Did her a little bit in the flight, but no damage done, dot ball. Comes in again. And Schofields driven that down the ground. Dedra came in for a direct hit run out, but she missed the stumps, and Schofield gets in for a single. Sorry, not a Dedra, Ella Claridge.
Hyam took a bit of the pace off the ball there, didn't she? Diving to her left off her own bowling.
So Hyam to Elwes. That's a full ball. She's driven that down to long on for an easy single.
Two for 2, 43 needed.
Hyam to Schofield. Same again, she's driven that down to long on for another easy single, so Vipers very happy to take the singles on offer at this stage.
Yeah, the momentum's with the Vipers here at the moment with this partnership. You feel more confident. If you were following the Vipers, you'd feel a bit more confident at this stage now.
George Elwes tried, that one's floated up a bit. Quite a fuller ball that George Elwes tried to drive outside off stump, but play and miss straight through to the gloves of Abby Freeborn, who's had a hard time today. There's been quite a few wides and balls keeping low. She's had a tough time behind the stumps. That ball was dragged down a little bit, and Georgia Elwes, there might be a chance for a run out. No, Georgia Elwes pulled it quite hard, went to run on the shot, but it found the fielder, and they sent each other back, I think, in the end, and both made their ground. But a little bit of a mix-up there, but no harm done again. So at the end of the 14th over, Vipers are 83 for 2.
She wanted a signal because she knew she middled it. It's almost like, that should be some runs.
I deserve runs for that.
Good over, though.
It is. So Vipers need 42 off the last 6 overs, so 42 off 36 balls. Elwes is 16 and Schofield 15.
Yeah. Not too much between the two sides at this stage. Lightning were 78 for 5.
I just feel like Elwes especially can up a gear from here, from this platform, so they'll want to get her out, the Lightning.
She's very much the danger player. So back into the attack is Sophie Munro, who we were talking about wides earlier on. She was as guilty as any in the first over or two that she bowled. That's a better line, but cut away by Schofield, but only finds extra cover. Kirsty Gordon. So 83 for 2. Schofield has 15. The batters out so far: Georgia Adams for 16, Tara Norris for 17. 34 and 57, the 2 wickets falling on. As Munro bowls with a right arm medium pace. So that's driven down the ground. Lovely shot. Half volley. Put away skillfully by Schofield. Plenty of pace on that drive. And that brings a boundary for the Sussex player. 19 she moves on to. 87 for 2. And the Vipers need 38. A win here guarantees the Vipers a place in finals day next week. Although they'll probably have to play 2 games. They'll be doing extra. It's flighted as well, driven by Schofield out into the covers, pick up another single. She moves on to 20 here. 88 for 2. They're almost a senior partner over Georgia Elwes, who's on 16. 37 needed in the 15th. Good partnership between these two. 31 they put on. As Munro comes in again. Short, it's pulled away, safe out into the deep. A couple of bounces to deep mid-wicket, where it's the subfielder Nancy Harmon still out there, still substituting. Probably was hoping to put her feet up in this innings. Certainly not. She's been out there for quite a while. 89 for 2. Elwes has moved on to 17. Brings Schofield back on strike. Munro comes in again. Runs away from us, short and wide, and that's going to be a wide. Not sure what she was trying to do there, whether it was a bouncer. Well, I mean, it certainly was a bouncer in the end, but she was trying to cut her fingers down the side of the ball, got it totally wrong.
It's got stuck in her hand, I think.
Yeah, it did. So a wide called. 90 for 2, the Vipers. They've been helped certainly by some extras here as Munro bowls. It's short, it's cut away by Schofield. It's gone out to point, but there's a fielder out there deep. That's Lucy Hyam. Gets the ball in quickly. The Vipers move on to 91 for 2. The amount of extras in the...
Yeah, there's been 19 so far.
Yeah, that's a lot.
In a total of 91.
Yeah, too many, really. Especially when you think instead of chasing 34 from here on in, that could quite easily be 53 or so. Then all of a sudden things look differently. Field changes, deep mid on for Georgia Elwes, and the 45 on the leg side goes final. So Munro comes in again and bowls. It's on leg stump and that's flicked away, but Pye is at deep square leg, deep backward square leg, goes straight to her. That will be the end of the over. So we've had 15 overs here, so 5 to do. And the Vipers need 33. And 92 for 2 is the total. So there was 9 off that. Sun's disappeared, it's got a little darker here.
So I'm going to have a Dedra again from the city end. She's been one of the better bowlers in terms of discipline from the Lightning.
Yeah, now I mean, I don't know about you, well, she probably will bowl 2 overs now, but in a way, I mean, she's been the most accurate, isn't she? I just would have had her on 3 overs. I mean, this is her 3rd. I would have had her bowling 3 overs a couple of overs ago. Because he's very tight, 2 overs, none for 9.
She comes in over the wicket to Elwes, and she pushes that for a cheeky single, puts the fielder under pressure at point there. She ran in to do the underarm flick to run Schofield out at the striker's end, but the pressure of the quick single meant that she had a little fumble there and allowed them to easily get through.
That was Pye. I think Schofield might have struggled a little bit if he picked that up cleanly. I think Schofield was a little bit on her heels.
Here it comes.
Sharp.
That's bowled outside off stump. That's going to go all the way for 4. That's just floated up outside off stump. And Schofield throws her hands through that, through extra cover region. And that's another 4 to Schofield. Another 4 to the total.
Bit of width.
Yeah, a bit of width, floated up. And these two set nicely now. They're not going to miss opportunities like that. Score moves on to 97. Dedra. That's a straighter ball, and Schofield's just worked that to mid-wicket. They run the first one hard. They're thinking of a second.
Great fielding.
But Georgia Elwes sends Schofield back, and it's the right decision as the ball comes in quickly from Lucy Hyam.
She's quick out there, isn't she?
She
I mean,
is.
that looked like 2 from it when it left the bat. Great fielding.
So it is a big boundary out there as well, and wasn't that much pace on the ball, so she had to come in a long way. In comes a Dedra, straighter ball. There's a little bit of movement in the air, and Elwes just pushes that back to the bowler.
I like that delivery.
It's a bit of wobble.
Yeah, there was, wasn't it? Just straightened up on the batter. It's like she just cut her fingers down a little bit, just helped it. Like that. Good shape.
It's coming again, straight and full ball, and that's gone to the same field. It's gone to Pye at point. She miscued that, and it was a low chance for Pye, but diving forward, she didn't get her hands to that, and they came through for a single.
Difficult chance.
It's a difficult chance. It's the second difficult chance that she's had in the game. The one earlier that went above her head.
Yeah, always hard for the fielders.
Again, really nice straight ball. Schofield able to drive that down the ground for a single, and that brings up the Vipers 100. And the end of the over, so they are 100. And they need 25 off the last 4 overs.
Well, it should be Vipers from here. 16 overs, Lightning had 92 for 6. So the Vipers not massively ahead. But they've got momentum with this partnership, haven't they? Really have. They've put on 43, these two. Elvis has 20, Schofield 27, and it might look a little bit more daunting if you had new batters out there, but with these two going well, one of them you would think at least will see the Vipers home. So Kirsty Gordon, the left arm spinner, the Vipers on the worm, just have been slightly ahead of Lightning for a while now, as that's driven up to mid-off. They're going to take a quick single. Throw will come in at the bowler's end, but Schofield's easily home. Pye backs up, running in from deep square leg. Nice and alert, I like that. Hasn't been put off by a couple of difficult chances in the field, which does, as a fielder, puts you off, doesn't it? You think, oh, on another day they'd come straight at me and we'd be more in the game, but she's still enthusiastic out there, which is good to see. 101 for 2, 24 needed by the Vipers. Elvis on 20 on strike. As Gordon bowls, left arm spinners. Round the wicket, she's going to be stumped. Oh, she's completely done there. Beautiful bowling there from Kirsty Gordon. Just tossed that one up, invited the drive, and Elvis came down to try and meet the ball on the bounce, and the ball just turned away from the outside edge. A classic left arm spinner's dismissal. Elvis goes for 20, 101 now for 3. Love that bit of bowling.
Yeah, that just did her in the flight, and like you say, just turned past the edge of the bat, and it just looked... It looked a beautiful bit of bowling, and well taken by Abby Freeborn. It's the 3rd stumping we've seen today.
Yes. Well, Vipers get themselves into a decent position. Still not totally certain, as Kirsty Gordon takes her 2nd wicket of the innings. Emily Windsor, who is somebody we both know well. Emily Windsor does lots of commentaries with me down at Hampshire, and plays at the same club as Gemma here. Kevin James, Gemma Green, former Hampshire ladies player. And Emily Windsor making her way out into the middle.
She usually captains Hursley Park ladies ones, but with her commitments with Rockets and Vipers and commentary, she's not had much chance to play club cricket this season.
Didn't get much of a look in with the Rockets. Played, what, 3 or 4 games?
I think she played 5.
Five, was it?
Batted once, yeah.
So hasn't done a lot of batting, really, over the last few weeks, but she's in now. But with only 24 runs required, it's not an ideal situation for a batter, but you look to see out the game. Nice drive, but only as far as Ballinger in the covers. The score remains on 101 for 3, coming towards the end of the 17th here. It's Gordon, left arm round the wicket, bowls. Windsor comes down the wicket, turns her away on the leg side, gets wrapped on the pad, called through by Schofield for a leg bye. Don't think there was an inside edge, no. Umpire Sue Redfern signalling to the scorers, who are just to our right in the scorebox next to us. We can see through a window. 102 for 3. The Vipers need 23 here, with Schofield back on strike. A bit of turn there as well, but Schofield plays that well just behind us on the leg side. She moves on to 29. Vipers 103 for 3, needed 22.
Emily Windsor's sort of favourite scoring area is sort of cover down to backward point. They've just got just the one fielder there, and
little reverse sweep there. Didn't quite get hold of it. I think that's come off the handle or off the glove. But she'll pick up a single anyway, and she'll keep the strike. With 3 overs to go.
Scores and runs a lot of runs in that area, but not usually with reverse sweep. She's usually a sort of cutter driver of the ball through that region.
So 21 needed off 3. So 21 off 18 deliveries. It shouldn't be a problem, but we've all seen T20 games many times to know that wicket all of a sudden and the momentum is lost, and then things are changed. 43, the partnership between Elvis and Schofield for that 3rd wicket.
We've got Grace Ballinger returning from the City end.
Bit of pace on this. Would Windsor prefer that?
She would, yeah. This is where she can just lean on it through that sort of backward point region, especially with the angle of the left armour coming across her, unless she is going to bowl round the wicket. It looks like she is. Just moving the bowler's marker. She still comes from very wide of the crease though. Well, she just put the marker very wide of the crease and then she's moved straighter, so...
First 2 overs only cost 8 runs. Here's Ballinger.
It's coming in round the wicket to Emily Windsor. That's a straight ball. Emma's tried to drive that down the ground, but it's not timed and it just goes straight back to the bowler for a dot ball.
21 needed off 17 deliveries. This could be close. That wicket of Elwes came exactly at the right time for Lightning.
Yeah, they needed a breakthrough to have any sort of chance in this game. In comes Ballinger. That's a fuller ball. That's not as, and Kiddo's just, Emily Windsor's just pulled that to the leg side for one.
No nicknames here. You can tell you guys are obviously close-knit Hersley ladies.
I've done well to get to the 4th game without it spilling out.
20 needed off 16 deliveries.
Paige Schofield on strike. In comes Ballinger, still round the wicket. And Paige Schofield cut that away. They looked for the single, but sent back as the fielding's been really good in that offside field all day.
It's been brilliant, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. They've saved 15, 20 runs there, I reckon.
They have. In fact, the only times they've got singles there is if they've taken the pace off it and managed to drop it in front of them, but not much has got through that ring all day.
15 off 20, sorry, 20 needed off 15.
Here comes, she gives herself a little bit of room and sort of cuts that to extra cover or wide mid off for a single. Score moves on to 106. They're just having a little bit of chat in the middle. The 2 batters, Windsor and Schofield.
Well, it was a quiet over last over for just 4 runs. This is a fairly quiet over again so far.
She really does bustle in, Ballinger. She comes in. Windsor's down the ground, comes down the ground, pushes that down the ground to long on for a single.
$18 needed off 13 deliveries. Good game from here. This for me can still go either way. I think the fielding on the offside has been exceptional. They've saved a lot of runs, although they've created a gap now by pushing our substitute fielder Nancy Harman back.
So in comes Ballinger from that city end, and again Schofield's given herself a bit of room and slapped that through the offside for a single, and that concludes the over. 108 off 18. Western Storm have lost the bonus point opportunity, so I think it stands now that South East Stars we know are through, Northern Diamonds are through to finals day, and I think the remaining places between Vipers and Storm, and if Vipers win they go through, if they don't Storm goes through. That's my understanding of the situation. That's provided Sunrisers don't actually beat Storm today, which is also an option.
What's the score in that one?
Sunrisers are 122 for 6, chasing 147. So they need 26 from 13 balls with 6 wickets down. So it's still gettable, but I would be back in Western Storm at this point.
So we've got a good game here at the Incora County Ground in Derby, where the Vipers on 108 for 3, needing a win to make finals day, need 17 of the final 12 deliveries, and into the attack is Sonia Odedra, who's been quite miserly in her 3 overs so far, none for 17. Here she is, right arm medium pacer. Bowls to Windsor, goes for a slog sweep, misses it, gets an inside edge onto the pad, goes out on the offside. Sorry, it wasn't, it was Paige Schofield, and Windsor calls her through. But that's only a single. It hasn't gone Vipers' way the last couple of overs. It's been very much Lightning, because only 8 runs have been scored off the last 2, which is not enough from a Vipers' point of view. So 16 needed off 11. My word, this is close. This really can go the other way. Windsor on strike. There's a Odedra from our racecourse end. They're just changing the field. They knock Pye back to deep backwards square leg and being mid-off up, trying to bolster that offside field where they've been so good at saving runs. Odedra comes in and bowls to Emily Windsor. Down the wicket, she misses it, and so does the keeper. There's going to be runs here. Although I think the keeper got enough of a glove on it, they're only going to get 2. Don't think that's come off the bat of Windsor, or has it? No, it's a byes. Bonus. Full delivery outside the off stump.
I think Vipers need to find themselves a boundary in this over. They don't want to leave too much to the final over.
14 of 10 deliveries needed. 111 for 3. Windsor stays on 3. Odedra comes in again and bowls to Windsor. Length ball. Windsor cuts that away, and it's gone straight to the point fielder, but she allows them to come through for a single. It went quite quickly, but she was on her knees, and Schofield calls her through. I think they'll be running most of the times now that the ball goes out towards that 30-yard circle. At the very least, the Vipers need a singular ball, and they now need 13 of 9. Tense, and so much at stake, not least for the Lightning to win their first game of this tournament, but for the Vipers to get through to next week's finals day. Odedra comes in and bowls to Schofield. Schofield hits that on the onside, out towards deep mid-on. They shouldn't get any more than a single. Hyam picks up it, and then Windsor runs and picks up 2. Good running. Well, Windsor's one of the quicker ones in the Vipers' side. And Hyam has been brilliant on the outfield. And they've done well to run 2 to her. That's a bonus.
Yeah, when you've got Windsor running to the danger end, she'll always take that on. She'll back her speed, and she will turn what looks like a comfortable 1 into a relatively comfortable 2 for her.
I think there's only 7 balls left. I think I might be miscalculating here. As Odedra comes in, low full toss and swung away by Schofield. And again, it's gone up to Hyam, but Windsor's not going to risk 2 there. And there is 7 balls left, so I haven't miscalculated, apologies. So 7 balls left, with the Vipers needing 10 to win. Drama here in Derby. 115 for 3. Looks like the batters are just taking a bit of time. They're getting their breath back. And Pye comes up from deep backwards square on the 30-yard circle, trying to crowd Windsor a little bit. Here's the last ball of the penultimate over. Odedra bowls, swings away Windsor. It goes up towards Hyam. I don't think they're going to risk 2. Hyam's wise to it. It's just coming a couple of yards off the boundary. Keeps it down to a single. We're down to the final 6 balls here at Derby, with the Vipers needing 9 for victory. Now, I guess at 116 for 3, that 8 will be enough. I don't know the rules in this, and I wish I did at this stage, because 8, with the Vipers having lost, well, will lose fewer wickets, I'm sure, because Lightning lost 9 with their 124. Surely fewer wickets would mean that the Vipers will win.
I don't know, that's a group game. Would it just be points split?
It might be just split points, you're right. Now, would that be enough? Gemma, you've been so good on this. You've got a minute or so, because there's going to be a lot of debate out there between the batters and between the fielders and the captain, Kirsty Gordon, and the bowler. Grace Ballinger is going to bowl these final 6 deliveries, and an important 6 deliveries it is for both these sides. 9 needed by the Vipers.
Split points could make it extremely interesting.
Oh dear.
If Storm win. Let me have a look at that game.
Oh, okay, well, let's just hope the Vipers get all 9 from that point of view. All yours, Gemma.
Ballinger coming in for this final over, and Windsor's had a big swipe at that. She's got an outside edge. It's just gone to third man for a single. The third man is up in the ring. That's Sachi Pye.
That could have gone anywhere as well. Yeah. That went quickly off the edge. 8 needed of 5 deliveries. 117 for 3. Gemma's doing some calculations whilst she's watching the game and trying to commentate on these closing stages, which is tremendously exciting. Field's going to change again. There's a shot deep mid off out there for Paige Schofield, who's playing well for a 35. Vipers top scorer.
In comes Ballinger around the wicket to Schofield, and that's a swing and a miss. Tried to hit that straight down the ground, but it wasn't the right length for that shot, and it goes straight through to the keeper as a dot ball.
8 off 4. 2 a ball needed, and the batters again have another chat out there in the middle. This is tense. It's not just about winning a game for the Vipers. It's about a place in next week's final. There's a lot at stake. They were expected to go through to the final, especially when they've won their first few games, but losing their last 2 has put pressure on them, and the pressure is here and now.
8 off 4 needed as Ballinger comes in to Schofield. She swung across the line at that. She might have found the gap there. Fielders are quickly round. Oh, there's 2 of them. They hunted in packs and they've kept that down to a really important 2. However, it's been called a no ball. There's more drama unfolds. So that's 3 off that delivery, which will need to be re-bowled again.
Oh, that's made a difference.
That's taken a bit of pressure off. So the Vipers are on 120. They need 5 off 4 balls.
I don't think we need to worry about the tie now, Gemma.
No, and this is a free hit. So Schofield, who's the batter that's set on 37, she's now facing a free hit, as Vipers need just 5 to get through to finals day. In comes Ballinger, and she's floated that one up, and Schofield's hit that through extra cover. Emily Windsor again turns that into a really easy, comfortable 2. So just 3 runs needed. Run a ball now for the Vipers from here on in.
Cool, what a difference that no ball's made.
Yeah, that.
Jeez. Just shows again the extras. The extras have just taken the real pressure off the Vipers. It's been 6 byes, 5 leg byes, a couple of no balls and 11 wides.
Well, they've just got to keep the singles down. They've still got 4 out on the boundary when Vipers just need singles to win this. Schofield pushes that to extra cover. They run through for a single again. The throw comes in to Emily Windsor's end, who makes her ground very comfortably. 2 from 2 is the equation now, with Windsor on strike, and Schofield moves on to 40.
Tie? Well, a tie. I tell you what, I said it wasn't.
I've got to go back.
I think it is on.
I've got to go back to my notebook.
Yes. Gemma's been looking at notes all last night about permutations. She's been bringing you all the details throughout this game, helping you through the minefield and the number of sides that potentially could get through to finals day. We know the South East Stars are definitely there. Who's going to join them here? And I mean the Vipers. It's you.
Here comes Ballinger. And Emily Windsor has driven that again to that really tight offside field. But both batters obviously looking for the quick runs here, and that's another single. So it comes down to the final ball. The scores are tied currently, and there's 1 ball left in this innings.
Well, if it's a dot ball, it's a tie.
If it's a dot ball,
have you worked it out, Gemma?
I'm waiting to see if Storm win. And Storm have won.
Right. Do you want me to do this last ball? Will you calculate it?
Thank you.
Yeah, go on then, no problem. Right, chat between Kirsty Gordon and Ballinger, because Gordon will want to know what ball Ballinger is going to bowl. I presume it's full, and the field comes closer in on the offside. So they've been so good fielding on that 30-yard circle. If Schofield can get a good bat on it on the offside and pierce the field when they're outside, but everybody's come up, as you'd expect, at 124 for 3, plays 124 for 9. Runs here will confirm Vipers' place, a tie, and we're still trying to work it out, or Gemma is anyway. So here's Ballinger, here we go then, final ball of the game. Left arm round the wicket, bowls to Schofield, drives, it goes through extra cover, and it goes through mid-off, and she's won it! Paige Schofield has won it! 44 not out, Vipers 128 for 3. They've won this game off the last ball by 7 wickets, and they are through to next week's finals day. Wow, that could have gone either way over the last 2 or 3 overs. What an exciting game it's been here at Derby, but the Vipers have done it.
Well, that was a wasted effort of my pen and paper, but I'm happy about that, because obviously seeing Vipers there next Sunday, that was a fantastic shot to play off the last ball. She drove that through that ring that's been so tight all game, but managed to pierce it when it really mattered. And 4 runs to Schofield. Or was it 1 run? Did they complete the run? I think they've just given her 1, haven't they? They've just given her the 1. So.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Well, it's gone for 4, isn't it?
I think they might have completed the 1 before it went over
right.
the boundary. Schofield finishes on a 40 match-winning 41, and Emily Windsor 7 not out. So I think the finals day is going to look like Southern Vipers will take on Northern Diamonds in the eliminator. And the winner of that match will then go on to play Surrey Stars in the final later that same day down at the Ageas Bowl in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the inaugural Charlotte Edwards Cup finals day.
Well, what an exciting game that was. And as I say, I mean, Lightning, well, they looked a little bit disappointed at the end there, as might you do. When you get a close game like that, where it could go either way, it's always difficult for the losing side. Difficult for the Lightning, because that's probably about as close as they've been to winning the game in this competition this season. Certainly an improving side. I'm sure we'll see more from them next year. They've still got, of course, the 50 over cup to complete. So has the Vipers, as have all the other sides as well. But what a game we've seen here this evening. Fitting, really, for the final round of games in the group section. But fortunately, from a Vipers point of view, they've squeezed home on the very last ball of the game, needing one for victory. And Paige Schofield has seen them home. Well, I hope you...